What is up,
Hello.
guys? It's been a long time.
Hey guys, how's everybody going?
Welcome back to Scene Invaders, episode 403. As you can see, we have a lovely guest, and we'll get to her in just a moment. But first, we're going to say hi to Mr. Brad from Canada.
How's it going, eh? I was waiting for Dave to interrupt, but
With that signature phrase.
I already did that.
Dave has inserted himself already. Mr. Coach, what is up, sir? How are you?
Yeah, I am well. How is everybody?
Good.
Great.
And then we have the lovely Carly, also known as Intel Dork, if you follow her on Twitter. And I'm so
And you
happy
should.
to have a horror. Yes, and you should, for sure. She has based memes. She's a dope based babe. And I'm so excited to have you on here tonight. And you're my fellow horror buddy tonight. The other guys aren't exactly into horror. So, like, we're kind of representing horror in our opposite corners here. So excited.
I represent
Thank you so much.
horrors.
Okay.
Holes.
Holes. This is an adult podcast.
It is now.
Every hole matters.
Every hole
right?
matters.
All holes matter.
All holes matter, guys. That's facts.
Oh, good.
But yeah, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We are
Yeah, thank
legitimately so fucking excited to have you. You're raising our property value, like I said earlier.
Thank you for having me.
Of
I
course,
appreciate
yes. Anytime, man. Anytime. You're always welcome here. And yeah, we're gonna, of course, do our usual thing. Talk about what we watched for the week. Then we're gonna do a deep dive discussion of The Substance, which we have all seen, and we've all been waiting with bated breath to find out what Brad thinks of this movie, because we know he has seen it, but he hasn't even shared a thumbs up or thumbs down with us, so we don't know where he stands on this. So that is going to be interesting. Then we have some good Halloween recommendations for you guys, and I thought that would actually be really fun because you do have two not exactly horror people and then two horror people. So I feel like this should run the gamut on like some pretty interesting like Halloween recommends. So stay tuned to the end, and then we're also going to walk you through a step-by-step human sacrifice. So that's going to be at the very end. So don't click off, guys. Subscribe and hit that notification button if you're on YouTube. Okay.
I hope I don't pull the short straw today.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay, Brian, we'll see, right? But yeah, we're going to get this started. So Mr. Coach has come up with a few questions for Carly, interview style, just to get to know a little bit more about her before we move into everything. So I'm going to hand everything over to Mr. Coach right now.
Awesome. Carly, it's great to meet you. Please feel free to laugh at any of my questions here and make fun of them as well. Hopefully
Okay.
they won't result in the same bodily function jokes that Chad came with his questions.
No. I said queef on this thing, guys. Like, God. That's where I am.
Funny word.
It's a bad,
All right.
awful.
So, question number one. If you were given God's omniscient eye to see an event that is a mystery, say the JFK assassination or how the pyramids were built, which one would you choose to know everything about? The caveat being you are not able to ever tell anyone or communicate it to anyone. So it would just lie as a splinter in your brain.
Oh,
Jesus.
goodness.
Damn, that was. Yeah.
I know, just laying
Got
it
my
down.
mind
I
going.
mean,
Fuck.
Yeah.
if we're going to go that deep, I might as well want to know the secrets of the universe. I mean, or at least find out how the universe was made, Earth,
How women
human
queef.
beings.
Yeah.
Was that his answer to this question?
Oh
I
no!
can tell you that answer.
That is not a mystery, Brad.
That's not a mystery. At least not
Excuse
for
me. Okay, we do
Not
things
at
different
all.
up here.
Wait, I'm the
very
reserved
intimate.
one, okay?
Okay,
Or do you queef?
And I'm the one saying it's not a mystery.
Fuck. That was a good answer. Too.
No,
I
yeah.
didn't get this question. Yeah.
I can say that the quick answer is 42. And then we will move on. So,
Mysteries of the universe. That's heavy.
I was about to say, I know that that's a reference from that, but I don't understand it. That's all that I know.
Well done.
There it is.
what is a lesson that you have learned from a child that is not your own?
You're coming hard tonight, Mr. Coke.
Kidding,
You
man.
are. I wish you would have given me these questions like beforehand. Oh, jeez. I mean, I don't know. I just learn stuff from my son every day. He is 8 years old. He is just the freaking sweetest. So, I mean, like just today, I took him to the dentist. He rushed to get out of the car before me, opened the door, held out his hand, trying to make sure that I didn't step on a crack when I got out of the car.
Oh,
And then trying to hold my hand going into the dentist. I mean, he's just, if anything, I just need to, I learned to be a little bit more sweet and more patient because of him.
and you have 2 kids, right, Carly?
Yes, I have a 12-year-old daughter as well.
Yeah, I knew there was a daughter.
She's a hellion, but I love her.
Something tells me she takes after you, girl.
Yeah.
You know what that hellion life was like when you were 12.
I was a lot more respectful to my parents, though. I will say that much.
Okay, gotcha.
Well,
She could be a lot worse.
Your parents were allowed to hit you.
That's true.
We're not allowed
That
to hit
only
our kids
happened like
anymore.
once or twice, though. So,
Because they
and I
hit you right.
deserved it.
Because they hit you right.
Oh, I got straight up hauled into the women's restroom of restaurants and got my ass beat if I acted up. My mom did not play at all. But I'm a different generation too than Carly.
That's right.
So.
Oh, not much, right?
I'm 47, so I'm a fair bit older than you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. The final question. What are 3 Muppets that you identify with and why?
Oh God.
Oh God.
3 Muppets.
I mean,
Yeah.
geez, do I even? I mean, I feel like I know 3 Muppets.
That was
always
me.
liked
I was like,
Gonzo. I like Gonzo just because I've always liked him. I don't really know that much about him, but he's never pissed me off like some of the other ones. He always seems like a well-meaning, Muppet.
I think that's a
then
follow-up
obviously-
question. What Muppet has pissed you off?
Okay, right. Spill the tea. What Muppets do you not
Okay.
fuck with?
Seriously? Okay. Does somebody actually like Miss Piggy? Because I always felt like she's a bitch.
Oh, she's a
but,
bitch.
She's a bitch, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So definitely not Miss Piggy.
We ain't feeling her.
But
This is a Miss Piggy hate podcast now.
yeah,
Fuck
fuck
her.
Miss Piggy.
Yeah, fuck her.
Fuck her.
Fuck that bitch.
So Kermit probably because just it's not easy being green. That's not really a reason, but I can't think of anything else. And then a third one. What's the third Muppet? Oh yeah, what's his animal? I guess.
Okay.
There you
And
go.
that's only during certain moods, but yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. Okay. Right. I was gonna say Swedish Chef, man. I'm just like,
Yeah, you're just
Oh well, yeah.
That's me
Hey,
all
you
the
know
time.
what?
That's
Is
my
it
brain.
bad?
That works too.
75% of
I
the
totally
day.
forgot about him. See, I
Is it-
don't think about Muppets a lot, so I'm sorry.
It's
I know
fine.
them.
I don't know. Is it bad that I thought the first ones I thought were Statler and Waldorf, the 2 old guys that just all they do is
just comment.
all they do is
Yeah.
just bark
They
and
just
bark.
shit on everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I like those guys.
Dolores
them
knows
too,
them
but-
actually.
I feel like I'm not really a shitter on things, though. I try to make people laugh, or at least like bring some humor.
Yeah,
you
no,
and me
you do.
both.
I
I
think
don't. I rarely.
But
talk
I do
about
like
things
those
I don't
characters,
like.
though.
your presence on Twitter is very pleasant. That's
Mhm.
a reason why I've
Okay.
always really liked you on
Oh
there.
yeah,
Like you're
Yeah,
funny
so
and
fun
you're
to
not
follow.
constantly embroiled in fucking like drama and all that bullshit the way some people
my
are.
God.
And you're just like me. You just want to make people laugh and post a dumb meme and that's it.
Please.
And, yeah.
Talk
That's what
about
I use
movies.
Twitter for. Yeah,
Shut
talk
the-
about
yeah.
movies
Yeah.
and
We're done with these question things. Let's talk about
okay,
movies.
gotcha. Yeah,
Yes.
let's
Talk about
Let's
movies.
do that.
Yes. And as our guest this week, we are going to start with Carly. We always go through what we watch for the week, whether we recommend it or
Ooh.
do not recommend it. And yeah, we're starting with her as our guest tonight, and we're going to move on through the rest of us from there. So, Miss Carly, the stage is yours, my lady.
All right. Well, I would say probably some good recommends on things that I did watch this week would be Cuckoo. I did like that one. Actually watched that twice. And
In your opinion, let me ask you really quickly,
Uh-huh.
as since the other guys are not exactly big horror guys, do you think that's one that they actually might be pretty okay with?
Yeah, because I mean, I felt like it wasn't actually. There were a couple of genuinely creepy parts, but it's not like a horror movie. I mean, obviously, it's like horrific. There are some horrific things that happen in it, but it's not. It's not like a stereotypical horror movie.
Yeah.
It's more kind of like a mystery, unraveling type thing.
Sure. Yeah, and I thought about that too, because I always try to think about things that I can like cross over with these guys and kind of nudge them toward a little bit, because I know their taste pretty well. And Cuckoo's one that I don't think I'd necessarily recommended it when I talked about it on here, but I have thought about nudging them in that direction, because I think especially Coach would probably appreciate it. Like,
yeah, if it's closer to like The Strange Darling, which when you watch the trailer, I'm thinking it's a hacker slasher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it's not like that.
It's just not that at all.
Yeah, Cuckoo's definitely not like that.
No, and Dan Stevens is in it, so you have to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Dan Stevens and also the lead.
Oh yeah, she was great. I've never seen her in anything. What is she from?
Euphoria.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that.
What the fuck is her
I haven't
name?
seen that.
Damn it, yo. I cannot remember. But yeah, she's great.
And I am, for the record, I don't dislike horror.
I know.
No, here's the thing. I routinely am bored by it.
Okay.
Because I cannot listen. I watch superhero movies and impossible action movies and bullshit like animation, all stuff I know is completely impossible. But I cannot wrap my head around somebody being that stupid in a horror movie.
See, the dumber they are, the more I'm like,
no, I root for the bad guy. If someone's going to do something that stupid,
definitely.
I'm like, all right, come on, kill her.
Back that bitch up. That's how
kill
I
her,
feel.
skin her, pour bleach on her. I don't care. Like, you're too stupid to live.
Terrifying.
Fast forward. Yeah, I can't wrap my head around that.
I get it for sure.
Yeah.
This year's been a feast for Hunter Schafer. That's it. Fuck.
Hunter Schafer?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the name. Because I looked it up too. It was like.
So our little rating system here is basically just buy, borrow, or burn. So how do you feel about Cuckoo? Would you buy it? Just tell someone to borrow it or burn it?
I would definitely lean more towards borrow it.
Okay.
If you read kind of I don't want you to read too much of a synopsis. Because
yeah, exactly.
I would be afraid it would give too much away, but if it seems like something you might be interested in, then, and it's on sale, maybe buy it, but I'd rather borrow it probably.
Yeah. Gotcha. Cool. Makes sense. What else did you watch?
I also watched Strange Darling, which
we are all fans of.
Very big fans.
Yes. So good. I loved how it was, obviously it's set up in the beginning. It gives you their names, the lady and the demon.
Sure.
It's like, okay, so obviously this guy, this is I was like, this is the bad guy, and then, oh my God, he's like chasing this woman down while he's doing coke. What's going on? And I just love how, every little new layer, is revealing a little bit more and changing everything that you just watched, kind of changing everything, the perspective. But it was also, I will say, as soon as she had those 2 vials out, I was like, okay, this bitch is fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's where I got it.
But I also thought, I was like, this would be really kind of fucked up if he was actually in on it too, and they like just chase each other. I kind of wish it was going there, but I mean, it was still really great with him being a cop or a marshal or whatever he was.
Sure.
So that still worked, but I kind of thought that's where they were going with it at first. And then as soon as she, killed Ed Bagley, who just shows up with that disgusting fucking breakfast.
I was going to ask about the breakfast.
Okay.
I was going to ask about the breakfast.
I love butter. Okay. I use butter all the time.
Yeah.
Who uses an entire stick of butter to make all of that food?
Barbara Hershey.
Make 4 eggs. To make 4 eggs, you don't.
Yeah.
That scene in the theater for me got one of the biggest reactions.
Just that much.
Crazy.
It's like, and they kept going. I was like,
and then they put the jam on it, and then everything. And I'm like, what are you doing?
It was just gross. Yeah, you fucked it up.
Honestly, I would have fucked that
these
breakfast
people
up.
aren't killed. They're gonna die very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just showing their gluttons who deserve to die.
That would be the one question that I would ask the director. Like, yeah, like I would gush in a Q&A. Oh, this is a great. All right, tell me about breakfast, man.
Yeah,
It's
that we
like
need
what's
to know
going on?
about.
Yeah.
It was
You
one of
find out
those
he's like 700 pounds, and you're like, oh, never mind, I get it.
Oh, yeah.
It was like one of those intentionally like quirky, sort of like Tarantino-esque, like quirky.
Jump around.
Yeah,
Move
input
about.
scenes.
Mhm.
Like, look how weird this is. But it worked for me. I love it.
I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff.
It's definitely a buy for me.
Yeah,
No.
100%. And I would love to. I can't wait until we can experience stuff with like some documentaries around this and like commentary and stuff like that. I'm really excited about that. I feel like it's pretty straightforward, but there are things I'd like to know about what was going through their mind making this movie, and yeah, good stuff.
So
Especially this is his second film ever, and the first one I don't think was very well received, and I think very
that's
different.
been something that I've really like. I know I've gushed about Plex before, but when the hard copies of stuff come out, usually on the Plex servers, they have all those little things
Oh, hell yeah.
in there. So like if you go to like the Seven Samurai on Plex, like embedded underneath everything are like all the documentaries of the making of and all that.
Love that.
Yeah.
And now that you have a Plex
Awesome.
account, Carly, there's so much stuff on there besides just like Dave's content and all that that's just free to watch. And I mean, just tons and tons of shit. It's a great service. I'm becoming a really big fan of it because I have a couple of people
it's
that share
awesome.
libraries with me now, and I'm just like, fuck, another like gluttonous, like
Another platform to watch.
basically. Yeah.
Right?
And no, I'm into it because there's so much good shit on there, especially because of Dave. He be keeping up with shit and putting the good stuff on there. So yeah, Strange Darling I think was a buy from all of us, man. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Absolutely was.
Yeah.
this is something we'll be talking about again at our best of the year, I think, at the end of the year.
Absolutely.
All right. And I also, you can go ahead. I'm good.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say I also watched Long Legs, and yeah, it was a movie.
Yeah.
And
I'm the only
I
one
was
that's
actually,
different.
I mean, I was with it for most of the movie, and I actually liked the twist. I was like, oh, okay, I can see where they're going with it now. That's kind of interesting, but I just don't really feel like it, I guess, stuck the landing. There was,
Okay.
I still really appreciated Nick Cage's performance in it. Thought everybody did great, but it just, I don't know, it was just kind of, I would probably borrow it. I definitely wouldn't buy it.
Okay. This is one of the movies this year that got under my skin the most of anything. And like I posted a very short review out of theater for Long Legs, and I said it's the movie that kind of nothing really like scares me. I'm too desensitized to that.
You got a couple like jump scares and stuff, but
it was just that constant sense of like dread for me that like really burrowed under my skin in the way that like I said a movie hadn't bothered me this since Hereditary in 2018. And it was just that constant like dread and that constant like the way everything was framed and all that space behind people, and you just like you're kind of conditioned as a movie watcher, especially horror, to expect things to come from all these corners or all these little places or whatever, and like most of the time in Long Legs that really doesn't pay off, so it just kept me on edge through the entire thing, basically like just waiting really well for something to happen.
Yeah, yes,
it looked great.
It looked great.
The performances were great, the set pieces, everything, and it did play very well. I wish they didn't devolve into what I think personally is lazy writing and evoke Satan magic. Because you could have had like some Stockholm syndrome going. You could have had some blackmail going. You could have had a myriad of things that would have made this, I don't know, maybe less of a iron ball infused with Satan magic and a doll to control people.
That description fucks so hard.
I mean, you're right though. I mean, you are right.
I'm an exec, and this is Brad. Yeah, I got an idea. What? Iron ball. All right, I'm listening. Invoked in Satan magic. I'm listening less. In a doll. All right, no one likes dolls. And Nick Cage. All right, I'm a little bit there. And this is what happens. Get out.
Okay, right. You're like, no, fuck your movie.
Wait. Can you make this for like $5 million? So
Yeah,
okay, right.
no.
And this shit made money,
you
man.
know the Satan magic iron ball kind of crap. Can you put a little bit of realism? And I don't why is it long legs? Well, I don't know. But here's the no, get up. Come on, get up.
I just
Doctor Strange, the guys for Doctor Strange 3 are coming in soon, and I got a fucking green light that soon too. So
Brad,
Okay, right.
what was the satanic metal ball with like the knife on the end of it from the 80s?
Phantasm.
Phantasm. Okay.
Yeah.
A different metal ball.
Phantasm
Metal ball
was-
So if I put
That was a
Phantasm
cool
in a
metal
doll,
Yeah.
no, Phantasm was a better metal Satan ball. Like,
Yes.
that's just
Way better.
not even-
It's
if you're
mobile.
gonna do a metal
I mean, I
Satan
guess
ball
the doll
movie,
is,
yeah, I think
I-
metal
So-
metal Satan ball is going to be my next band.
Okay, God.
Yeah.
And I know you said you watched Penguin as well, which I know the guys have. I have not, but I'm curious to hear your take on it because I know how these guys feel about it.
oh, I'm totally digging the show. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
They're doing great.
Mhm.
It's
I've heard-
got me to the point that Batman better not show up.
I know. I don't even care about
Inappropriate.
Batman.
Yeah.
I don't give
Yeah.
a shit about Batman. This is really great mob stuff.
Mhm.
And we haven't really had too great of mob stuff lately. I mean, there is The Sopranos, which I have been watching, Dave.
Good.
Yeah, I like it. But I mean, has there been any mob stories since? I mean, I think
Since
the
The
closest we
Sopranos?
get is like Sons of Anarchy, and that's not even a real mob story.
The
It's
bike
like
riders,
gang-
kind of. But
Yeah,
Gang
it's
war
it's
stuff.
all gone cartel. The
Yeah.
cartel is
They
the new mafia.
Yeah,
Okay.
true.
The Deuce. I think they did
Do it?
that.
Okay. I haven't
What
seen
is
that.
That was on HBO.
Mhm.
Okay.
The Deuce.
I'm
I
not
think that was a
familiar.
little bit mafia type.
Yeah, I think that was a
Hey,
Scorsese jam.
I cut this pumpkin piece into a heart shape.
Oh well, thank you.
I love
that's
it.
so sweet.
Hi.
Say hi.
All right, you going to bed? You
Yeah,
gonna say
not
hi?
yet. Hi.
Hi to the internet.
Say hi.
What's up, buddy? He's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, he said he cut me a heart shape. It's a piece of pumpkin. You probably can't see it,
Genius.
but it's heart shaped.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
That's
There
beautiful.
you go,
All right,
Brad.
well,
Take
good
notes
night.
for your contest.
You
Love
haven't
you.
been to
I
bed
will.
yet, though.
Oh, you need
Dad's cutting my
to-
pumpkin.
Oh, okay. His
Yeah.
the father is cutting the pumpkin. Thank you.
Ah,
I love it.
real life.
God, he's so
Yeah.
sweet. That
No
is
kidding.
and like what you
Yeah.
said earlier, and then he brings you a
told
little
you.
pumpkin heart.
Yeah.
Good Lord. That's a good kid right there. Now,
Not for nothing. Makes my kids look like shit.
Mine too. I mean,
I just have dogs,
Aw.
and they're
No,
fine.
they're
sweet,
my
but they
kids
don't
are
cut me
good.
pumpkin hearts.
My kids are good, but they're not that good, and they know it. I tell them every day.
So sweet.
you just wake them up. You're adequate.
Oh,
So
look,
is-
adequate. Look at you. $5 word.
So is he like a mama's boy, and your daughter is she like a daddy's girl?
No, they're both like a mama's boy and a mama's
Mama's
girl.
Oh, shit.
mean-
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
mean, they love their daddy too,
of
but
course.
yeah,
Let's
she's
be
getting
real.
to that age where
Let's
she
be
doesn't want
real.
to talk to her dad.
Of course. A lot of things are changing right now at 12. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's leaning on mom for that for sure. But yeah, Penguin. I don't.
You need to watch it.
I was gonna say you
Yeah.
probably don't know this about me as much as these guys do, but I almost never watch like series or anything. I just mainly only
Okay.
watch movies. But these guys, like, they keep. I need to watch the bear. I want to watch the penguin and all this shit. But I know what I'm capable of, and I just don't want to sit in front of a TV like 24 hours a day because I know I'm capable of that.
Hmm.
So that's why I kind of cut it off there because I'm like, there's so many good things, but I have to
Well,
like.
that's why I like the way the Penguin's doing is
Yes,
they're dropping it week to
weekly.
week.
Which is
good.
I don't like when they drop things and you can binge them. Like
Yeah.
it
'Cause
just
then you
it doesn't
binge
work
them.
for me. You binge them. I like
And then you
I like
forget what you
talking.
watched. Like,
I like talking to people about it week to week. Hey man, we're watching the Penguin tonight. Yeah, cool. And then the next
You got
day,
that water cooler
at-
shit going on
at
yeah.
work. You actually, hey, did you watch it? I'm like, yeah. I mean, you talk about it. That Arkham Asylum episode was terrifying.
rough. Yeah.
Just the absolute despair, and there is nothing you can do. It is complete helplessness. And
Absolutely.
God.
Is it 5 episodes out now?
I think it's 6.
I think
Oh.
6. Yeah.
Okay. And how many are there going to be? 10? Did we discuss this?
It's either 10 or 9.
Okay.
I think 10.
It seems like
Yeah.
this is doing super well for Max, though. Like, I think this has become incredibly popular and, like, is.
Well, I
getting
mean,
Max
in the world of media, when you have any kind of Batman property,
facts.
Joker, Penguin, you know,
Mhm.
everyone's saying, yeah, the Joker is so much better than the Penguin. The Penguin sucks now. Burn,
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix. I'm like, guys, it's a movie. Chill out.
Coach tagged me in a thing on Twitter earlier of David Howard Thornton, known as otherwise as Art the Clown from Terrifier, in a fan film, like a Batman fan film where he played the Penguin. And you can absolutely see where this man deserves
Oh,
a
wow.
chance to try for that in like a large scale.
Really?
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm not tied to comic books the way that you are, definitely, Brad. But you could just see it. You can tell he's channeling like older versions of the Penguin and not these new, like broody, like sad.
Yeah, there's a
Or, I'm
lot
sorry,
of.
the Joker.
It's kind of a mix of Cesar Romero and Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Kind of like
cool.
a campy, sort of over the top.
So yeah, he gives a very Cesar Romero look to it, but goes that super gravelly of Hamill.
Mark Hamill. That's
Yeah.
cool. I'm down for that.
Yeah, I'll have to tag you guys in the one that he got me in, just so you can check it out. Because yeah, I was like, oh, I can see this.
Of
for
all
sure.
the random stuff that I just send everybody's way on Twitter.
I love it, man. I mean,
Keep it up.
honestly, I feel like I see a lot of shit on there, but you definitely bring a lot of stuff to my attention that I somehow does not cross my feed for whatever reason. So, I'm
Well,
always here.
I think between this and that Apple show Sugar, Colin Farrell is definitely looking at some Emmys.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
living his best life, right?
Yeah, he is doing amazing work. And so yeah,
Get it,
Chad,
Colin.
watch the Penguin.
Yeah,
The hell you
there it
doing?
is.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, you don't even have to buy it. You can just subscribe to it to Max.
Yeah, Colin Farrell's like great. I think like the only thing I haven't really enjoyed him in was Bullseye. When he played.
Okay, first of all, he was really cool as
I mean-
Bullseye. It was awful, but he was really cool as
True.
that awful, ridiculous. But
So,
that whole movie was garbage. But it was.
I know.
It was fun garbage.
Especially the bullseye on his head. Why did they do that?
Well, because they didn't want that stupid outfit, which I understand, but
They could have just put him in a hoodie.
or a
Put the
tattoo,
hoodie on. Or
a tattoo,
that would have
not a
looked better.
scar. What do you scar a bullseye on your forehead? I think someone's going to shoot at you.
Okay, right.
Right?
Don't
Yeah.
make it too easy for him. Don't make it so easy.
But yeah, I don't know if there's anything Colin Farrell's done that I didn't really enjoy or get on board with, because he's, I don't know, it's just charming. He can act very well, and he's got a lot of range. So
Yeah, no, he's very good. I agree.
And buried
A
in
mark of quality.
1,000
usually.
pounds of prosthetics right now, but he's just good at what he does. So yeah,
There it is.
Penguin, highly recommend.
Yeah, it's a resounding recommend, even from me, and I haven't seen it, guys, because everybody likes it so fucking much that I'm just
'Cause
on the
it's not
bandwagon of, yeah,
scary.
watch that shit and go for it. And especially, it
I
sounds
think
like even
you'd
if you
like it
don't
if you
necessarily
watched
love. Oh, I'm sure I would. That's the problem. Suddenly, I'm like on my 600-pound life because I start watching all these series. Fuck.
God,
Yeah, if you
sweet
go to the
tweet.
movie theaters, they eventually kick you out.
Yeah,
You
true.
watch streaming,
Okay, right.
Nobody's kicking you out.
That's my happy place, man. Every time I walk in the theater, I'm like, oh, I'm home for a little while. All right, Mr. Coach, or I'm sorry, Mr. Brad, we're going to move to you. What did you watch this week?
Well, as I said, I was enjoying the Penguin. I did
Yes.
try and get out to the theater, but there was nothing to watch.
Boo. Canada! We don't
mm.
have time for you. Fuck.
They had re-releases of movies I've seen 1,000 times, and I'm like, I'm not going to the theater to see that. So I dove back in TV, and a second season of one of my favorite shows came out, and that was Shrinking with Harrison Ford and Jason Segel.
Sweet.
And they dropped 2 episodes on Apple, and I just devoured them. And it has the fallout of kind of a criminal activity that happened at the end of season 1, and Jason Segel as a kind of not a new wave therapist, just a therapist trying new things with his patients. Because a friend of mine's a therapist, and I remember I was talking to her, and I said, "Did you see that show Shrinking?" And she says, "Brett, every therapist has fantasized about doing what he's doing." And I'm like, "Really?" He says, "Yes, you just want to like kick the doors down and stuff, but it's not sound practice." And she said that show's kind of fiction because none of that would fly. And I'm like, "Well, yeah, but don't let the
Yeah,
truth
that's why it's riveting. Like,
don't let the truth get in the way of a good story," kind of thing.
Okay, right? Yeah, no, exactly. I feel that.
Yeah, but I mean, Harrison Ford with his absolute dry wit, and
I love him.
even better is one of the co-stars who plays as Jason Segel's neighbor is Ted McGinley.
Oh,
You might know from
Married with
Darcy
Children?
from Married with Children.
Yeah.
The show killer.
Oh, not in this one, man.
No.
He is not a show killer.
Wait,
in
are
this
you
one.
talking about the husband of the neighbor?
Yes.
That actor? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it
Okay.
Krista
So he doesn't look-
Miller's husband?
Yeah, Krista Miller is the nosy neighbor, or what has Harrison Ford calls her, scary neighbor lady.
Okay, right.
Well, her name's scary neighbor lady, and everyone gets nicknames and stuff.
It sounds fair.
They're continuing with the antics, and the stakes are getting a little higher, but I don't know. I've said this before in my review, or when I talked about it originally, the first season, is I love seeing Harrison Ford play 78 years old because he's 78 years old.
Yeah, there it is.
I love Indiana Jones. I love Han Solo and all that. I love in your 30s, Harrison Ford, 40s, you don't need to be 80 and doing this stuff.
Agreed.
He's doing
Age gracefully, my homie.
absolute best work. He hasn't had any work done. He's got a broken nose and gray hair, and he still looks great because he's Harrison Ford.
Right.
Yeah.
And the show doesn't center around him. He's not the nucleus or anything like that, but he's the sun, because when he shows up, he's just brighter than anything. I don't know if he's been written the best lines or he just performs them well. So yeah, if you yes, Chad, you must watch more TV.
Yes.
Check out
I need to
Shrinking.
get Apple TV Plus. Good Lord.
Yeah, check out Shrinking. It is a buy for me. I would buy them individually if I didn't have Apple, and if they came out on DVD, I would buy them too.
Are you watching it, Coach?
I watched most of the first season,
Okay.
and then the ADD just kicked in, and ooh, somebody shook their keys, and I
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Yeah.
yes, squirrel, come on. It's on the big Rolodex to eventually get back to, but not there yet. I think now that I have kicked Tulsa King to the curb, I will probably return to Shrinking soon.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, I haven't watched Tulsa King
What's
in a
wrong
while.
with that one? I heard it was supposed to be good. I haven't
The
watched it.
first season was phenomenal, and then they pulled a Beverly Hills 90210, and it was just like, hey, we have a bar. Hey, look, Jelly Roll is here. Hi, Jelly Roll.
That's right.
I'm Sylvester Stallone. I mean, character played by Sylvester Stallone. Nice to meet you, Roll of Jelly.
They did some stunt
geez.
casting, and it's gotten kind of a little too big for its bridges.
They turned a prop into the Peach Pit, and I'm just like, I'm out.
Okay. You said that's how we feel about the Peach Pit up in here.
But I mean,
Peach
Fuck the
Pit,
Peach
and,
Yeah,
Peach
fuck
Pit
Peach
and the Peach Pit
The
after
deck.
dark. Or the bad club from the OC. Like, it's the same thing. Just
Gotcha.
I didn't watch that one, so I don't know what that was called.
I've never seen the OC.
next up is Color Me Blind.
Oh my God! Color Me Bad. Hell yeah.
Color Me Bad. That's
Color
it.
Me Bad,
Oh my
yeah.
god! Hell yeah!
That reminds me of junior high in such a significant way. Holy shit!
Just awkward dances where the boys are on one side of the auditorium, girls are on the other side. There's terrible music playing, and then just
And stale popcorn on the table.
You just hear Journey as every slow song at the dance. That's what it was like for me, at least.
Arms straight out. Do not
Of a
touch.
certain age.
Oh, they played Stairway to Heaven as a slow song, and then it suddenly picks up, and you're just like, well, what do I do now?
Yeah. And then you stare into each other's eyes, and you're going to go over there. I'm going to go over here, right? Yeah, all right. All right.
Yeah, we're
Stairway
done,
to Heaven
right?
is,
Yeah.
like too legit to quit. Like
You walk back, and your buddies are like busting your balls. Like, yeah, we dance with you, son of a bitch. Yeah.
I one of those dances, I had a welt, and I think I still have a dent to this day when a nun just smacked me right square on top of my head.
Wait, you went to nun school?
What? I went
to
an all boys private Catholic school. So like,
Oh jeez.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Satan
like
magic. Satan magic a
Satan
bunch
magic.
with you.
Yep.
we dig up the layers here on fucking Stephen Rader's
I
podcast.
didn't
guys.
know that. Wow. So that's what
hell
happened.
yeah.
So yeah, a couple.
So that's what happened.
That's what happened. I didn't leave enough room for the Holy Spirit, and I got whacked for it.
Yeah. Awful.
That was rough, dude.
So yeah, watch The Penguin and Shrinking.
Yeah. Is that all you watched this week, Mr. Brad?
That's all I watch, honestly.
There it is.
And my girlfriend hurt her back, so she's been laid up. So we watched 3 seasons of Ted Lasso as well, because
Okay. I know you love that.
that's what we do.
When in doubt.
Yeah. Get your comfort TV on for real.
Mm-hmm.
So what about you, Mr. Coach, with your mystery?
My mystery?
Watches?
No, it's no mystery. It's just it's an evolution of, 40 at 12, and now I'm a basic bitch in my 40s. I spent the weekend.
Did you watch Gossip Girl? No, I'm just kidding.
I spent the weekend catching up on the 12th season of the Great British Bake Off.
Yes.
Which again, I love. It is my absolute like zen time of just relax and just. It's funny, like American versions of reality TV. Like we plot everyone against each other, and this person has to ruin this person, and they're just like, oh, everybody help everybody, and
we're making it hard.
We're making a cake. It's bread week. Yay!
Hell yeah. That sounds lit to me. I love.
Dude, listen, it is a just a safe little, relaxation. And then Sunday, I got the opportunity. I saw a musical in the theaters. I got to see a 35 millimeter print of Little Shop of Horrors, the director's cut with the actual real ending.
Oh, is that the one with where he? Okay, wait. Are we able to spoil it?
Oh yeah, I think we can spoil it.
Okay, so, are you talking about like? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm
spoil away.
I just wasn't sure if I know the correct ending, but so you just tell me, then I'll.
I definitely
don't. So the girl dies. Seymour feeds her to the plant after he dies, Audrey? And then the plant. Yep, Audrey dies, and then the Audrey 2 grows and grows and he just takes over the world.
Yep.
That
really?
Sounds lit. Hell yeah.
Yeah, can you believe it tested dark with the test audiences? So they tacked on a different
imagine
engine.
why.
See, that's dope.
You have a blood-sucking plant, a sadistic dentist, a hapless loser, and an abused woman, and that's when it went dark.
Well, it's originally a black and white Roger Corman production with like Jack Nicholson is in it, like back in the day. Listen, I've never seen like the Broadway version. I've only seen like amateur versions.
I've only seen the Rick Moranis version.
Yes, that's
the movie was good.
The
Steve
film
Martin,
one.
Bill Murray. Yeah.
I will say that like, and I have to share the clip with you. There is a clip of I don't know if it was RuPaul's Drag Race or something, but of a drag queen singing Somewhere That's Green. Okay. And listen, the girl that plays Ellen Green, who plays the main Aubrey, is amazing. But this drag queen does the song the way it's supposed to be, where the Somewhere That's Green is kind of like if you buy a lottery ticket, you know how you have like that little dream of like, well, I'll do this and this will be great.
Yes.
So that's how the Somewhere That's Green starts out. It's fantasy. And then halfway through, the character realizes that it's just a fantasy of getting out of Skid Row and getting out of the slums. And then it all comes crashing down on him. So like It's an amazing clip. I don't know how to search for it, but I'll probably throw it up on the Twitter at some point when I find
Yeah,
it.
totally.
Okay.
And that was it.
That was
That's
it
a
for
better-
you. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a better
nice,
ending.
nice little day at Costco, and
Yeah.
basic.
Shepherd's pie, man. You gotta
Shepherd's
get
pie, man. It's shepherd's pie time.
Did you buy the macaroons?
No macaroons this time.
Oh
that.
man, that's the only
Frozen
place to buy.
blueberries.
Not bad.
All right, Chad.
Nice. Okay, we're on to me, guys. Had a couple new watches this week. One we've talked about on the show before, and I don't think Brad's seen it, but I know everybody else has, and it's called Snack Shack, directed by Adam Remeyer. I hope I'm saying that right. And it is about AJ and Moose, and it's a coming of age story that is absolutely insistent on hitting you in your nostalgic feels, which it absolutely did for me in every single way. And it's about a summer with these young teen boys who are like 14, 15, as they open or decide to run a snack shack at the local like swimming pool. And I would say this is like a dramedy. It's pretty funny, but it definitely has pretty heavy drama elements, especially toward the end. And this was just such a pleasant surprise. I knew Carly really loved this movie. I knew Coach really liked it from when he discussed it on this show before. And I'm going to chime right in with them and say that I absolutely loved this as well. It's just so incredibly pleasant. It can be a little bit difficult. It can be maybe a little bit of a tearjerker kind of in the end. But it's just this really lovely look at a summer with these two best friends. And like I said, it's just a coming of age story, like summer flings and learning responsibility and having a summer job and trying to figure out how to navigate all of these different things that seem like just the whole entire world, of course, when you're that age, but also still kind of are kind of your entire world as you become an adult as well. And it just was a nostalgia bomb that was taking place kind of right in that time period for me when things would have been kind of like that. And it's just so good, guys. And I think my only real issues with it is maybe just a little bit of like a tonal inconsistency, because it does start off very broadly comic, and then it kind of slowly narrows its focus throughout the movie to become much more dramatic and emotional. Yeah. And it wasn't jarring, I wouldn't say, but it does create this like very melancholy and like wistful and hard hitting feelings toward the end of it that weren't out of place, I wouldn't say, but were just a little strange considering where you started. Yeah, it's heavy considering where you start in this movie. But this is definitely a buy for me. This is the kind of thing I could imagine putting on as 100 times, as background noise, as just a comfort watch, any of that kind of stuff. And even though it can be a little bit of a tearjerker, and I motherfucking cry at fucking everything, bitch. I cried at this movie too, of course, but that's just how I'm built and who I am. And I'm a crier, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, I cry all the time.
Oh my God. I am a weepy, to take Coach's phrase, I'm a weepy bitch. And yeah, this movie was that. Oh, and then I did end up watching I forgot about this. I didn't even put it on my notes, but After Sun by Charlotte Wells, director Charlotte Wells, an A24 film that I had not.
And if you hadn't run out of tears by the end of Sack Shack, you just said, damn it, I'm going dry.
Bring me the razor blades, Jeeves. God, it was very that. After Sun, just quickly, I'm going to say it's a highly, highly recommended look at this small part of this girl's life and kind of the real and imagined memories that she has of her father. And it's just this lovely, it's slow, but it's always involving, I thought, with excellent acting. Oh my God, Paul Mescal. I think he's incredible, man. Like everything I've seen him in, he just blows me away. This was absolutely no exception to that. And it's a lovely experience, but it's quietly devastating, kind of. It's never overtly anything. It's never like overtly trying to pull your heartstrings too much. It does have sort of like a crescendo toward the end of emotions and things, but
it's changed the David Bowie song for me.
Yes,
forever.
Oh God.
Of like,
yes.
If I hear Under Pressure, like I instantly link it to this movie.
Yeah,
Really?
but no, it's lovely. Yeah. And we all know that I am a sloppy thought for A24, so almost everything they put out, I mean, I'm not guaranteed to like it, but I love their output and their shit. And I'm not afraid to say when I don't, but this was another one that absolutely worked for me, and was sad that it took me 2 years to see this. This was one that when it came out in theaters, for whatever reason, just never played in my area. So I just had never gotten a chance. And as I was browsing Coach's Plex, I was like, oh shit. I was just, that was the first thing I came to, where it's called After Sun by director Charlotte Wells. It's an A24
After
drama.
Sun?
After Sun, AFTERSUN, all one word. And it's really it's lovely.
It plays really well on just what is real and what is exaggerated in your mind about the memories that you have or don't have with a parent.
Yeah, and sometimes you want to romanticize certain memories or interactions that you had with a parent or things like that. So you kind of get this sort of mix of the real and what is seemingly proposed to be the imagined in a way. The lines are never exactly set in stone here, but you really start to get a feel for what she's romanticizing about all of this and what actually happened in this situation. And it's just so smartly handled and so well done. And yeah, I loved it. I ate an edible that day and I laid on the sofa and I watched Snack Shack and then After Sun back to back.
Nobody kicked you out of the theater.
Yeah, and I just sat here and I was like, these were the exact perfect like Sunday afternoon movies that I needed. And yeah, it was lovely. So After Sun, After Sun, I would say it's a buy because I think it is incredible, but it is not the kind of thing that I think most people would probably want to watch a ton of times.
Right.
But I think it's filmmaking quality, and especially from a first-time filmmaker, is so high that I'm a person who would be wanting to support that by buying their work and
I would almost
contributing to that.
I would almost call it like a buy to lend. Like I would buy it so that I
so
could
you
easily
can
lend out to
you can deal it to your friends. Like here you go,
like,
motherfucker.
All right,
Like,
so there might be a new category called share.
Yes.
Right.
And I do that and I always forget that I share it. I'm like, where the fuck is this movie?
Yeah, right.
I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
And then Snack Shack also is a definite buy for me. It's a 100% buy, watch it 1,000 times, comfort movie, instant comfort movie classic, and yeah, very, very, very good. I really liked it quite a bit. And then the other thing that I watched this week, go ahead,
Chad. You
Yes,
have
ma'am.
to watch Dinner in America.
We've been
Dinner
talking
in America.
about it.
Please watch it. It's so good. I mean, it's
Dinner
totally
in
different,
America?
but it's by the same. Yes,
it's the same
by
director
the
as
same
Snack Shack.
director. Yep, it's
It
really
has
good.
Kyle
though.
Connor.
Okay, you guys send
Oh
me a
God,
list.
he's so
'cause
hot.
I'm just gonna
Yes.
chill out and watch.
So that's on the Plex too. Once we get Plex working for you, Brad, that's on Plex too.
I believe it was last
We
week.
need to come here. I'm not.
Okay,
lying.
right.
I can't figure it out. I'm so damn.
So do I have to go drive down to Florida first and then to Toronto?
Yeah.
Or
no,
wait,
pick
I
that
thought
up
I'm
on the way.
Mega road
And-
trip. Like you road trip
and,
the fuck
yeah.
down here, and then we really hit it to go up there. Hell yeah, dude.
And
That
the
would be
best
amazing.
part is when the three you get here, I'll be like, oh yeah, I figured it out.
Let's have a beer ready for me, man.
Yeah, right. I figured it out when you guys were about halfway here, but I just didn't want to tell you.
I didn't have the heart to tell you.
Yeah, right. And I
Well,
think
so
I
wait,
think it was-
Coach.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to ask, where are you from?
So I'm from outside of Philadelphia in a western suburb.
Okay.
So, but
All right, so we
universally,
have-
it's easier to say, "Oh, I'm from Philly,"
Yeah.
but
so we
I
have
don't
Philly.
have the accent.
Gotcha.
And I'm
so
in
we have
Jacksonville,
Pennsylvania,
Florida.
Georgia, Florida, and then
Oh yeah,
Canada,
yeah, like
all the way up
area.
there.
I don't even get a city, just Canada.
Yeah.
Oh,
Harley,
I'm
you and I are
sorry.
in
Well,
New
it says Brad from Canada. I'm sorry.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It should say
Sorry.
Brad from wherever in Canada you
Okay,
are
I'll
from.
say
Wait,
Burlington,
What,
so
what
nobody knows.
state? What
Okay.
state in Canada are you from, Brad?
I'm in the great state of Ontario. It's a
Yeah,
province.
It's a province.
Yeah, not a province, a province.
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Oh God, I don't care.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There it
Oh,
is.
no, terrible, terrible.
It's all
We
right,
don't like to
Brad.
talk like that.
I'll-
We don't
I'll
talk
send
like
you a
that, but I
hoodie.
do it occasionally just to keep it alive.
I love it. The A every time it kills me.
How's it going,
I love it. Oh wait, there's something happening.
Somebody coming.
Oh, thank you.
Is he bringing you food?
Did he
I was
bring you a
given-
drink?
He did.
Hell yeah, that's the way.
I'm not even done with my other one though.
Hell yeah, that's even better. Yes.
Yeah.
Glad you
Thank you,
married that
husband.
man.
You going to bed?
I'm gonna go to bed.
Oh, okay. Love you.
Love you too.
Love you, Daddy.
Hey, I didn't say daddy.
I would have.
I know.
I'm senior, man. Hell yeah.
I know. Oh, here comes the little man.
But I'm a
Okay,
huge.
I'm cleaning
All
up.
right, good night,
cleaning up.
buddy.
Let him answer.
Love you. Sweet dreams.
Night, buddy.
You know, stay cool.
It's called the camera stare.
Oh, good night.
He's
Have
amazing.
him
Oh
on
my
next.
god.
We're having him
Yeah,
on next.
absolutely right.
You guys just need to have him on next
week.
time.
Yeah, we're gonna get the 411 on all the best like family content for real.
Oh my god.
He liked the
That-
wild
oh,
robot,
geez.
right?
He did. Oh yeah, we all loved it. But I mean, Trey wanted to show him Snack Shack. He's like, we're about to watch a coming of age.
Well,
Like, no, you can't.
maybe at like
can't
12 or
watch that.
13.
Yeah.
Trey. I was like, no. It's like not 8. Oh my god.
Right.
No.
All right, and then my other watch this week, guys, is something that you can catch on YouTube right now. It's called Milk and Cereal, Serial. And it is directed by Curry Barker. And I don't know enough about. I'm pretty sure that these are people that this is like exist on this YouTube channel essentially, which I think, and forgive me guys if I'm wrong on this. I really didn't research this super well, but I think it's sort of like a prank YouTube channel. But they decided to make a found footage film, kind of based around that. And this was a hell of a pleasant surprise, guys. I've heard a lot of talk about this, and as a horror person, and I'll watch anything, and especially if I can just click on YouTube and watch that shit. It's only like 62 minutes. And this is a found footage style film that is about guys who run a prank YouTube channel, basically. And then one of these pranks goes terribly awry. And the tension that devolves from that. And it is a very interesting and very well done short film. It's not feature length, so I'm going to call it a short film, I guess. But this was actually pretty tense and intense in parts, and not scary. Like, this is something I definitely would recommend to like Coach and Brad, because there is this sort of like element to all of it, because they are running this prank show, and you watch them like pull this shit on each other, where you are questioning through a lot of this: is this real? Is this really happening? Is this just another elaborate like prank or whatever it may be? So you're really left with all of those kind of things until the very end of this. And I found it incredibly involving. I guess they made this for $800, which I mean, I can see,
Wow.
because this is, like I said, found footage, which is notoriously pretty inexpensive to make. It doesn't have any real like special effects or anything like that. But I'm sure they probably had to spend a little bit of money for certain equipment, or maybe a couple of props that were used in the movie. But yeah, this is one, I mean, especially since you can watch it at no charge. I believe they tried to get distribution for this, but it's probably a little bit hard due to the length of it. So they were just like, fuck it, we'll put it on YouTube. I think it has a little over 1 million views right now. And
That's
in
awesome.
horror circles this year, this is one that's really been talked about quite a bit. And I was telling them before we went live tonight, I'm coming out of the closet, guys, as a found footage fan. I really like that subgenre. I know that's divisive, and I know a lot of people are like, fuck found footage for real, but I like it. It's one that works for me a lot. And I thought that especially in this scenario, because it is about guys who are YouTubers who run this prank show or whatever, the use of, or the fact that cameras are kind of always around really made a lot of sense here. Because a lot of times in found footage, you're like, why does this host still have a motherfucking camera on and all this bullshit? But like here, it doesn't ever explain it, but it just makes sense why there is so much shit being filmed.
Can I ask a couple questions?
Of course.
Okay. Blair Witch, yay or nay?
Oh, yay, for sure.
Paranormal Activity, yay or nay?
Huge yay for me.
Cloverfield.
It's a yay for me.
Okay.
Yay.
Yeah. Are you a yay on all of those, Carly?
I am.
Okay,
as
yeah.
well. I like found footage if it's
Yeah,
well
man.
done.
I
If
don't
it's
mind
well
it
done.
if it's done
Yeah.
well. I like Paranormal Activity. I thought Blair Witch was boring, and Cloverfield was really cool.
Paranormal Activity is the first one is one of the few movies to truly scare the fuck out of me as an adult. I went and saw it in the theater when it came out. Oh my God. I had just gotten out of a long-term relationship and I lived by myself for the first time.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm serious because I got a story.
I had started seeing someone and I was like, I really want to go see this movie. Let's go see it. So we did, and by the end of that motherfucker, we were both like crouched down in our seats, like fuck, oh my God. And then he walked me back to my crib or whatever, and then he went home. And
you didn't walk him home?
He walked me home.
I'd walked him back. You can't be alone.
Okay, right back.
What the hell, man? The paranormals will get you.
But I'm not even playing. I slept with my bedroom light on for like almost a week because I'm like, bitch, I'm not getting drug out of bed tonight. Absolutely the fuck not. Not tonight. And I, no shit, slept with my light on for a week because of that movie. It really got under my skin in a major way. The second one, I think, is also quite scary as well. The rest of them are varying degrees of okay. But yeah, that first one, God, Paranormal Activity. Good shit.
Carly, you had a story.
Yes.
Tell.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I was just as freaked out when my husband and I finished watching it. It was dark. We went in when it was light. We left when it was dark. And I was like, okay, we were both kind of creeped out. We got home. We had been sleeping with our bedroom door open. I was like, we're closing that shit. All the doors in our room need to be closed from now on, okay? At least for the.
And in fact, let's set up a camera real quick, just in case.
Yeah, right. Just in case. I just want to know that we're safe during the night. But yeah, that was my story. I had the same. I was just as scared.
Yeah, it's truly. I think it's one of the scarier things that I've seen like since the year 2000, and it always stuck with me, man. And but what's funny is that nothing scares me generally. And then I have other friends that everything scares them. They can't watch even like slopped out in theaters like Blumhouse shit. And they were like, that movie was fucking boring. I hated it. And I was just like, we are on a different page then.
I had one issue with that movie, and that was when the psychic came and got pushed out.
Oh, okay.
And I was like,
you were like, I don't have time for that behavior at all.
You didn't need that. You didn't need that. They could have walked in and said, "No, fuck this," and ran. And I'm like, yeah, it would have saved money on like the cable that they yanked a woman out with. But yeah, that movie came out and I just started seeing my girlfriend, who would become my wife, who would become my ex-wife. We had no money. Okay. We had no money. So I was sitting there and I was playing like my PlayStation 2 when PlayStation 4 was coming out. And she was watching a burned DVD on her laptop. So I'm sitting there playing stuff, and I can see the corner of my eye. She's just kind of leaning back, getting a little like edgy. And I'm like, what the fuck are you watching? So I keep playing. And out of nowhere, she screams at the top of her lungs. She still won't tell me what part it was. I'm assuming it's when the guy got dragged out or whatever. But she had headphones in and she screamed, and I threw my controller and it ripped my PlayStation down because it had a cord and all that stuff. And
oh no.
And I was like, what the hell is going on? And she's like sitting there panicked. And I'm like, all right. I just gotta finish the movie, then we're good. And I'm like, well, I gotta rebuild this PlayStation. And then, we'll go to bed. So I get in bed and stuff. She gets in the bed and the lights are on. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, well, I'm gonna sleep with the lights on. And I'm like, well, I'm not.
Okay.
Because the lights are on. And she's like, well, just, humor me. And I'm like, there's no humor in this. No, I'm going to turn the lights off. You do, I'll scream. And I'm like, this is a new relationship. I can't turn the lights off and have you scream and have your neighbors kick the door down. Like, so, all right, I'll sleep with the lights on. I didn't sleep. She slept. I don't know how she slept. I'm sitting there just like,
hey, you didn't get drug out of bed that night, so I think that's a win, in my opinion. That shit fucked me up. I was like,
I was wanting to get out of bed. Listen, drag me out of bed and get me someplace dark.
Okay, right. Just take me to the dark.
Yeah.
Or
you notice that
give me a Xanax.
Exactly. Exactly. You notice that I didn't say we kept the light on because I can't sleep with the light on either, but we had to make sure those doors were fucking closed.
Yeah, that feels fair, man.
Yeah.
And it still holds up, in my opinion. I watched it at least within the last couple of years, I would say, and I was like, man, that movie still fucks pretty hard. Like, it's scary if you're into
It
that.
was
kind of thing.
innovative.
Pretty creepy.
Very
I'm always more
innovative.
into, like, as far as things that actually scare me, like more subtle shit like that, where your mind gets to sort of create more scenarios for yourself than what you're actually shown.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely what that movie does. It just kind of gives you some like little nuggets of, oh shit, that's fucked up, man. And your mind runs with it. And that's the kind of stuff that actually generally gets under my skin and freaks me out. All right. And that was my new releases for the week, guys. And the big discussion we're going to have this week, all four of us have seen The Substance. Including Brad from Canada. We have no idea how he feels about this movie, and we are absolutely going to spoil this movie because there are some curious takes that I want to get from people on certain parts of this movie and share my experience with it. And so we're going to spoil this, guys. If you haven't seen The Substance, come back. And if you have, welcome. And feel free to answer the questions that I bring up during this too. But The Substance, directed by... and this is a point of contention, Coralie Farjah. I have watched motherfucking interviews with this bitch trying to figure out how the fuck to pronounce her name. I've seen Farjah, Farjay, Fargeet, and in interviews that are introducing this woman. So I don't know, but I'm going to go with the one from the Cannes Film Festival where they call her Coralie Farjah. And
is it Corey or Coralie?
Coralie.
Coralie.
Coralie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Coralie Farjah. She's a French filmmaker. Her first movie was like kind of 50-50 French and English, and then this is fully in English. But this is the story of Elizabeth Sparkle, played by Demi Moore, who is a previous Oscar-winning actress turned fitness 50-year-old who has a very wholesome fitness daytime TV show, kind of a pipeline we've seen many a times through many of celebrities over the years. Suddenly, it's her 50th birthday, and she has been canceled essentially by all the men and Hollywood around her because she has hit that awful number of 50. And they're going to start looking for someone who's younger, more fit, more tight, and more beautiful to replace her. And this is the story of her finding or getting access to a drug called The Substance, which is very apt for this time with things like Ozempic and shit like that. That promises to give her a younger, better version of herself. But there are, of course, trade-offs here. And she does decide to take this drug, bursts a whole entire new version of herself out of her back, played by Margaret Qualley as Sue. And what ensues from there is just absolutely positively one of the most insane things I have ever watched in a movie theater in my entire life. A body horror extravaganza of practical effects, insane storytelling, and something that didn't hit me until a couple of watches in, just absolute minimal dialogue that didn't hit me the first time. There's so much going on here, and I found it so riveting that it just didn't even hit me that first time I saw it, how little dialogue there actually is in this movie. And yeah, I've screamed about it a ton. This is absolutely, no question, my favorite movie of the year so far. And I'm so excited to have a female on the panel tonight to discuss this, because we can always share our perspectives on some shit like this. But we're, of course, coming at it from the perspective of a man. And while none of us are necessarily Hollywood famous or anything like that,
we're real men.
But yeah, there's still just, I think, parallels and shit to just any human being on Earth that you could take from this movie. And yeah, it's incredible. And I have to go to Brad first because I have been dying.
So forget the woman's perspective.
No, we're getting there.
I don't want to go first. I don't want to go first. So that's
we're
great.
Getting there.
I want to hear Brad's perspective as well.
I just am dying to know if you like this movie or not, because yeah.
And we are full spoilers. It's
this is spoilers.
Full spoilers go to town.
Okay. Well, I liked a lot of this movie. I didn't like all of it. I'll say this movie has a few things out of a movie I have not seen in a long time.
Let me see if I can write this down.
And one of the first things that I have not seen in a movie in a long time is female nudity.
Not on this level for sure.
It sounds
Yeah.
weird. It sounds weird. In the 80s, you could not make a movie without some TNA.
Mhm.
There was
there was-
boobs in the PG airplane movie.
There
Yeah.
was. It was gratuitous, it was unnecessary, and it was there. And since then, there's been somewhat of a switch in which where you can't really see a movie that does not have full frontal male nudity. I have no problem with that. It's just, it was almost
Same.
done as a retort that, yes, we're doing it.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, you look at it. Look at it.
Yeah, I've seen naked men before. Not a big deal. And so to actually see female nudity in a movie, it I don't know, it's like, oh yeah, I remember this. They used to do female nudity, and it wasn't done in a shameful manner, and it wasn't done gratuitous. It was
No,
done
it was purposeful.
so-
It's
in
completely
serving-
tasteful.
it was serving the
Mhm.
story,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
which I loved. Another thing I haven't seen in forever is such gratuitous TNA
Jiggle.
shots. Like
Jiggle,
zooming
man.
in on a woman's ass,
As it jiggles, dude,
and
like
then
jiggle,
zooming
jiggle.
in more, and then holding, and then waiting, and I'm like, man, 14-year-old me would have loved this. Like 14-year-old me would have hid this under my mattress, kind of shit.
Yes.
But it was just, it like, again, it also served the story. It's like,
Yeah.
we're not going to look at this. We want to look at this. This is what we're looking at. This bathing suit is what we're looking at. This perfect body is what we're looking at. Look at it. Look at these ridiculous thrusts that realistically, as humans, you should be ashamed that this is what they're selling.
It's so
But-
real, though.
But they were like a sense of pride behind selling it.
Sure.
I love the minimal dialogue.
Hmm.
Everything was on the screen. Everything. The good, the bad, and the very, very, very ugly. And when I say very ugly, I'm talking Dennis Quaid.
Oh my god,
Oh yeah. That was
he's
great.
so great here. This was supposed to be
I-
originally played by
Perfect.
Ray Liotta, but he
Yeah, I
died,
know. It was supposed to be his
unfortunately.
last role. Yep.
Him eating the prawns,
Oh my god, help!
I had to leave. I paused it and I left because it was like, I can't, this is bothering me. But it's
one of the
bothering me
grossest things in the movie.
in that best way. It made me
So-
uncomfortable. And I like
I'm
being uncomfortable.
Curious
during
where
movies.
that came from, because there's an infamous story with a producer / director named Brett Ratner,
Okay.
where he had
Yep.
what is her name? She used to be on Attack of the Show.
Serena. Oh no. Ooh.
Half Japanese, half American.
not
She
sure.
played Psylocke.
Yes, and she was in Newsroom.
Oh,
What is
Olivia
her
Munn?
name?
Olivia Munn.
Thank you. Yes.
I love her.
So there's an infamous story with Shrimp and Olivia Munn, and like questionable actions by the director. That I'm curious if that has anything to do with that scene at all.
Well, I
Well,
think
it-
even in her previous film, Revenge, she showed the male characters in that film as well as
Kinda
being
piggish.
gross when they
Mhm.
eat. And I think it's just her way of sort of, and that's one thing I want to be cautious about here too, because I don't think this is a man-hating film. And if it were,
No.
I
Not
would
at
not
all.
like it nearly as much
Not at
as
all.
I do. But she wants to show you pieces of shit and then amplify just what a giant piece of shit they are by showing them as gross eaters and just uncouth and disgusting. And yeah, it's a trick that she definitely pulled before in Revenge, but it really, really got taken to
Well,
the next level here.
Dennis Quaid was a repugnant person.
Oh, and amazing though.
Oh, yeah.
And like, don't hold back. If this man is the scum of the earth, show him in every aspect. He's a narcissist. He doesn't care. He's unempathetic. And he's just this, like, I don't know what's, like, repugnant is the best word I can come up
Yeah.
with. And just the way he treats people, and he changes his assistant's name.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Her real name is
Yes.
too hard to
Difficult.
pronounce.
That's too many syllables. Fuck.
He does it with yellow teeth and like shit stuck in his teeth from 2 days ago, kind of shit.
And those amazing suits. Oh,
and
those amazing
greasy
suits.
hair and fingers and just everything.
Well, it just goes to
Nailed
show
it.
that he's totally exempt in every single way from the shit that he is trying to form or create.
Yeah, what he couldn't sell himself on how he's trying to sell what he sells.
No.
Right.
You know. So yeah, I liked that. I liked that when you had to get the substance, it was not some big pharmacy, but it wasn't some back alley. It was a bit of both.
Yeah.
You know, it was not easy to get, but once you got there, everything looked clean and sober and everything. Mm-hmm. The package itself was, oh God, I don't know. When you
I got meal delivery kit vibes from
with like, yeah, like everything's like in a clear gel, and you're like,
great.
Based upon this movie, that's going up your ass. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like that's the first thing I thought is you're gonna have to enema this stuff. And when she took the substance and the split out of her back, mm-hmm. I was not expecting her to like morph into a young, beautiful woman, but I was not expecting what happened. That your consciousness is now in this new body and you have to go back to your old body and swap back and forth. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't just happen. You have to actually like flow your essence from one to the next. If not, your body will break down. It'll do all the rest. And it was very uncomfortable. It was as uncomfortable as him eating prawns, as just, it was, I don't know, everything felt about a frame off, and I was trying to focus as far as like my uncomfortability goes.
Yeah.
And I liked about 75% of the movie.
Okay. I'm going to assume that it lost you in the place that it probably lost Mr. Coach.
A lot of
the fight was unnecessary.
My thing with the fight is always, I'm sorry, Brad, go ahead and then I'm sorry. My Apple box, I need to get that out before I get started.
No, listen. Okay, scratch that. The fight was necessary because she has an internal conflict that I'm not saying is anything more than it should be. It's not like introspective. It's not, oh, well, you know, if you really learn to love yourself. No, I hate this younger me because you're fucking the older me. And the older me is like getting fucked royally by the younger me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they have to fight. I don't know why she was able to kick her 9 feet. Like
I'll speculate on that.
I fucking love that part.
Yeah, I love it too.
And it was like, okay, I know this isn't possible. That was weird. But you could have pushed her down the steps and had the same effect. And it really, I thought it should have ended when she tried to revive and be your better self before she turned into the absolute grotesque monster.
Monstro Elizasu.
Yeah.
That's right. Monstro Elizasu.
I could have done without that entire act.
Gotcha.
I was getting bored.
Okay.
At that point, I was like, yeah, she's a monster. Yeah, it looks gross. Yeah. At points, you're just sitting there waiting for the older one to wake up just to see what kind of atrocities have become her. You know, it's like, sure. Okay, look at the freak, you know? And that was like, you know, I see enough ugly people in real life. I don't need to see like freak shows on. So yeah, it was interesting to see how sad she became and how much
sympathetic
her youthful self was robbing her. Mm-hmm. Even more. But then the logic part of me kicked in, thinking, why don't you take it back? Like if young one can last longer than the 7 days, mm-hmm. just by like extracting the essence or what have you through that very ugly wound through that
Yeah,
very
God,
ugly
no.
wound in their back.
Yeah, that gave me what was it?
Fucking Requiem for a Dream.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it.
No,
That's
Jesus,
exactly
I was
where
like,
I was
oh my
going.
Exactly.
god.
Yes.
Whew.
Yeah, and I mean, not for nothing, you sewed her back up really well, and it healed really well, and now you're wrecking that wound there.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, you wake up and you're old and you're bald, and your tits are down your knees, and you have this beautiful thing. You're like, okay, guess what? I'm taking it all back. And she could have, she just didn't.
Yeah.
Then she went into cooking, and it was like, that was gross and weird, and everybody was mad at each other. And they're like, yeah, the monster I could have done without. If both of them just kind of expired and died or whatever, and on top of each other in a horrible, massive like lump or like fire or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. So
after him saying this, Carly, I'm so curious to know, since you also did like this kind of insane over the top fight scene, it really worked for me. I'll give my explanation for why it
the
worked
fight
for
was
me.
great. That kick was
But
stupid.
yeah.
I know. It was like, oh my god, this is great. When that happened in the theater, I was like, what?
No,
It's
I mean,
I
like,
loved it.
the first
why
thing
do
I
you
saw
think-
them, I was laughing.
I
It's
get it.
like,
I get it.
I paused it and I said out loud, "This is
Like,
Sparta."
what?
'Cause she
Yeah,
just,
right.
like boot fucked her like right across the wall.
It's the room. I know. It was great. Oh my god.
I was
Well,
like, this
I
is
just
no.
Yeah, I mean, well, I just took it as one, it's either just a pure fantasy, so that can happen anyways, or
Sure.
two, she's the younger, more perfect version of her, so of course she's going to be super strong. That's it. I didn't have anything else, but
I'm definitely on the side of, I think this movie, even from the very get-go, because this film opens with Elizabeth Sparkle's star being built on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And it's such a brilliant and amazing sequence because it's just shot from above. It's her star being assembled.
great.
And then over the years, how
People dropping
you didn't need
burritos
to
on it
say,
and whatnot.
yeah, you didn't need anything else. You didn't need to know or understand anything else about this character, because you see as this star deteriorates, how Elizabeth Sparkle deteriorates. And then I thought it was so incredibly brilliant. But as far as this fight scene goes, and I told Coach this, I think in a private DM, because Brad had not seen this yet. The thing that like immediately leapt into my mind when I watched this movie, and why this like sudden like show of super strength and shit like really worked for me, is because there is just no one in this world that could be harder on myself than me. And this film is so much about self-love,
yes, self-loathing,
self-care, and self-loathing.
Yes.
Yeah. That like you're going to find whatever little last bit of strength you have to beat the fuck out of yourself. If you're that kind of person who is predisposed to do that, which Elizabeth Sparkle sadly has now become, because those around her have told her that's how she needs to be. And that's exactly what I took from it, is just this last stand and show of like, fuck me, I don't give a fuck. And that really, really, really worked for me. And then as far as her,
you just sold me on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think
honestly,
about it like that. That's great.
You just sold that ridiculous kick as plausible,
because it is crazy, but
fantastical things that are already happening. Like,
what I was going to say too,
because I already viewed the movie as that.
The reason I brought up too, I forgot about, I lost my train of thought. The star in the beginning is, this is in LA. And even like as you're watching the star, there's a sequence that comes along throughout that period where there's snow falling on it and all this kind of shit. This is LA. And I think just the fact that there's snow falling on this star is setting you up to know that this is not something that takes place in the reality that we know. This is a slightly off center, slightly hyper reality from what we know. And I think that
considering her apartment was kind of at her studio,
right?
Kind of,
yeah,
like that was a time warp freaking apartment,
right? Yeah.
I was very confused and enthralled by that.
Well, it's so barren too, which is insane to me, because Elizabeth Sparkle is never presented as a monster or an awful person or a bitch or any of that kind of shit.
Terrible,
so I think it's very easy to become sympathetic for her, even though you don't know, I guess, maybe the most in the world about her, but she seems like a pretty decent person. And it's clear that she lives this life, especially probably because of the age she's getting, whether she is famous or not, that she is a little bit lonely. She's in this
Very
barren,
recluse.
yeah, she's in this barren apartment or home that has furnishings, of course, and yeah, they're, I'm sure, luxury, but it's just so interesting to see her portrayed in this way, and like especially Demi Moore taking on this role. Like I know she herself has said that when she read the script that she was like, yeah, this could be an absolute fucking disaster. And I imagine reading that script, you're like, fuck, this could go wrong in every single way, but
She
not.
sold that part.
She's incredible
Mhm.
She
in this movie.
really is. I can't honestly think of another actor that I'd want to see try and do that.
No, oh my god, and she, I mean, this was the most inspired casting choice of the year. If the fucking Oscars had any kind of balls, they would nominate some shit for The Substance this year. It absolutely has to have makeup effects. It has to.
Oh,
And Demi
yeah.
Moore would be such an incredible and inspired choice for actress for this movie. And honestly, I think this movie deserves to go all the way and like for the Oscars to buck
Best
the trend
Picture?
and receive a best picture, a best director, a best screenplay
Original screenplay.
nomination
Oh,
because it's just that good. And even in the end, when Monstro Elizasu, I don't remember if I discussed this with Coach or not, but what I saw that as and what it hit me as the first time is you see, and I think we talked about this before we even went live tonight, you see these celebrities and women, more specifically in Hollywood, who get all these procedures done. And they think they're looking amazing, but we're seeing them as like, bitch, you're botched as fuck and you look fucking crazy.
You look
And that's
fake.
kind of, yeah, that's almost kind of how this is too. Finally, like this final procedure has been done, and like this delusion of grandeur sets in that like, yeah, actually now I'm like, I finally reached this like form that I'm supposed to reach. And that's why suddenly there's this like attention and care given to yourself sort of. And it, while you're standing on stage looking just absolutely fucking insane, and the crowd is not responding to you anymore because you've just taken it all. Yeah, you've just taken it all too far, and that's what I got from it. Because I know we mentioned Courtney Cox earlier; she looks insane, guys, and because she's just had so much fucking work done. That, yeah, of course she's not Monstro Elizasu by any means, but okay. But yeah, it just struck me as someone who is like so deluded that they would get up in front of a crowd thinking they look absolutely incredible. They reach their final form and while looking just not like that in
So-
reality.
You've seen some of the starlets that just go way too far with plastic surgery, but they have enough money to back it up. So it's almost like self-fulfilling that do they think they look good?
Of course, I think so.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
And I
Because
don't
they
want
keep
to
getting it
disparage
done.
anybody. I don't want to disparage anybody.
yeah.
I mean, you do you and such, but
Yeah, of course.
if they're like, you're not gonna look. Nobody looks 30 when they're 70.
No,
It looks
so
odd.
it does.
Although I will say
So-
Demi Moore is 61 years old during this. Definitely
Looks
pulled off 50 years old for this movie with absolute, like, no question. Yeah, I would believe
Oh,
you
yeah.
that you're 50 for sure.
Carly, go ahead. We've been interrupting you.
Oh,
I'm
I was
sorry.
just going to say, oh, no, that's okay. I was just going to say, so Chad, it was interesting that you viewed it that way because at the end, the way that I viewed it is that she is finally accepting of her original self.
Yeah.
Because
agree with
she's
that
just
too.
so happy that she's not dead now, that she's not, at least decomposing at the moment, falling apart like she was. And
Sure.
so that's kind of why she dons her face again. And
Yeah,
then,
and
of
that's
course, says, it's me. I'm Elizabeth. It's Elizabeth. Like, oh,
Yeah.
God, it just broke my heart.
Yeah, me too.
So
And I
sad.
think that's why she puts that, like, she cuts that, like, big, it's not a mural, it's like a
Poster.
giant, like, photograph or poster
Yeah.
of Elizabeth Sparkle. And she cuts
Staples
the
it on her
face off of
face.
it and, yeah, puts it on her face. And I
Yeah.
think that was almost her way of, like, just applying makeup, essentially. Like, just
Yeah,
how
finally,
any normal
yeah.
woman would just put makeup on. And, like, yeah, this is my makeup for tonight. And this is how I'm now just going to go out into the world. And for me, there is not a misstep in this movie for me. in my opinion. This is one of the most perfect things that I've seen definitely this year and like maybe in a while. And it's just insane. But I wanted to ask you, Carly, like as a woman, you're clearly not anywhere near any of this kind of age, and certainly not, I mean, like a Hollywood actress or anything like that. But I know you said that you sat down with your 12-year-old daughter and your mother, who you said is in her 70s, right?
She's 75.
Okay, and
So,
watched
yes.
this all together. So you had this sort of like completely generational, like female viewers experience of this
Is
film.
her name Dolores?
Okay, right. If her name's Dolores.
No, her name is Carlotta.
Oh, okay. I
That's
love
cool.
it. But I'm
So,
curious
yeah.
what their takes were on this as far as from those different like generational perspectives.
Well, my daughter, of course, she was laughing at all the parts where she thought she was supposed to laugh at because, you know, it was absolutely ridiculous with all
Well,
the
it is funny. I
close-ups.
laughed a shit
The
ton too.
TNA.
It's funny.
But yeah. Oh, no, it's definitely funny. So she laughed. I think she laughed more when she was uncomfortable and didn't quite know what to think about it.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah, she really enjoyed it though. She really liked it. She felt really sorry for the character too. She's like, "Oh, that's just so sad." She's like,
sad.
"Why is she doing that to herself?" I was like, "I don't know, baby." It's like because she doesn't got anybody. That's why she doesn't have anybody. But yeah, she loved it. And then my 75-year-old mother. I mean, I talked to her earlier today, and she was talking to me about the movie.
Hell
she's
yeah!
Like, she's like, I just want you to know that I told your brother and his girlfriend that they need to watch this movie. I was trying to explain it to them. She's like, but I don't know if they understood me. But I was telling them they need to watch it because I really enjoyed it. So I was really surprised by that. I thought she would,
cool.
You know, kind of be at least, I guess, maybe upset or disturbed by the body horror, but she didn't. I had more of a reaction even the second time that I watched it than she did the first time. She had zero reaction other than, oh, that's so sad, you know.
But I mean, at her age too, like, I mean, she's kind of been through that in a way, in much more of a way than you have, and certainly your daughter has. So I think that's actually fascinating because I think this would really resonate with older females in a really, really big way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of why I really appreciate this movie, because I feel like so many things can be garnered from it. I mean, depending on how old you are, depending on whether or not you're a man or a woman, whether or not you're single, you're married. I mean, there's so many different takeaways from this movie, and it really resonated with me. I really liked it.
Well, I think there's a mother-daughter aspect to this movie as well, because Demi Moore's character does essentially give birth to Margaret Qualley and then becomes resentful that she's this young, beautiful thing, and she's ruined her body now to like have this new version of herself. And she's kind of at odds at times, of course, with having done all this and gone through all this for this other person who just doesn't even give a fuck and is just clearly living their life. And
that's something that it got me. And maybe you guys can shed some light on this.
The whole shared consciousness.
Yeah, yes. I was going to talk about that too.
Yeah.
Now, to be that resentful to you yourself is one thing. As Chad said, you beat yourself up a lot for doing things you did when you're under the influence or something or whatever. You know, your sober heads prevail and you're like, why did I say that?
Yep.
Oh, she texted me back. Never mind. I'm good. And now they kept on saying,
you are one.
Elizabeth said, well, she is doing this. Well, you're one.
Yeah, she's disrespecting the time.
She
Tell her that.
Has screwing me over. It's you. I never got the impression that it was truly her. And if it did, she would be so self-hating that the younger self was trying to torture the older self. For why? Just for getting old?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
you're kind of wasting that 7 days. Why don't I have that 7 days? You know, why can't I stay in this younger body for 7 days? That's kind of, I mean, I get what you're saying, and I did have that issue with it too. I kind of wish they would have fleshed that out a little bit more.
It gave me Severance vibes.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't seen that.
Okay, yeah, Coach,
I
you've
haven't
seen
either.
Severance.
It's
Have you
a
seen
separated
Severance?
reality where basically two parts of the same reality, but they are not able to connect in any way.
Okay, gotcha.
So basically,
Okay.
what severance is they sever something in your brain so that your work life and your home life never
Or separated.
intermingle.
You never
Okay.
know
Okay.
what you do at work, and your work body never knows what you do at home. So you are essentially at work all your life and essentially at home all your life.
And I think
Okay.
that is the ultimate thing is like you curse your younger self of like, why did I do that? Why did I take up smoking? Why did I, abuse this, that, or the other? You know what I mean? Or like, it could be something as simple as like, why did I play football when I was a kid and now my knee is busted? That type of stuff.
Yeah.
Is, like, again, there are those people that I have no regrets. I live my life. Okay.
You fucking liars.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Fuck you fucking liars.
And that's the whole thing is there is a resentment to your younger self as well as a resentment of your younger self of who you became.
Sure.
And it's like, I will never become this person. Yeah, we all become that person.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I saw
Turn those damn
an
lights off.
I saw like a drug addiction quality during this
Oh, yeah.
particular part of it because if you've struggled with substance abuse or anything like that, you do when you are, as someone said, in your sober mind, you look
Sure.
back on those moments in a fog, and yeah, you were kind of there, but it all still seems like maybe not quite real or not quite right. And I think that they definitely do share a consciousness here, but I think one is sort of representing this sort of like drug fueled haze, and the other is representing this like crash back to reality,
Stark reality.
and it's like the shitty fuck. Well, I don't feel
So-
like this anymore. I don't feel amazing anymore, so I'm just
Yeah.
gonna sulk until I can feel amazing
Oh,
again.
yeah.
I
Yeah, because
shared
that's what she does for that first 7 days. She does
She
nothing.
just sulks,
She
bitch.
just-
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so sad.
Brad and Chad, I shared a game that's going to be released next year, and there's a quote from that game that was been sticking in my brain. It was like, well, at the time, I thought it was important,
Yeah.
and that is
Right.
just how your younger self is. It's like at that time, I thought it was important to sneak out, scale down the side of a house to go and meet up with my friends at 2 a.m. and do nothing. Like,
Yeah. Because I did it.
Yeah. And I mean, I think you are left with the question here too of what does Elizabeth actually benefit from this? And honestly, like when it comes down to it, I think nothing, very
was my
little at
biggest thing.
least.
That was my biggest thing because I think if now
It's kind of cautionary tale.
don't take drugs unless somebody tells you exactly what's going to happen.
Maybe not from like a half opening door that you have to like scurry underneath.
A black market.
Yeah.
what's the fun of taking drugs?
Right.
Okay, right back.
You are going to be your younger, prettier self. Oh, I love this. Okay, wait. Before you take it, I'm going to tell you something. All right, what? Okay. A younger self will burst out your back. Wait, what?
Good
But
luck,
don't worry.
bitch.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Right.
There's a
You need
pamphlet
shots to
that your
assist you.
younger self will be able to sew your older selves back up.
Sure.
And then what? That's just, yeah.
It'll work
Good.
itself out.
Just find
I'm not
out.
taking this.
7 days.
I'm not taking this. I'm not taking this.
But I
Yeah.
think I still think it's so brilliant though, even though it doesn't really truly serve Elizabeth. There's still something so brilliant about it because she has clearly come up in this. She's a star, like she's known. She has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, all of that kind of shit. And
So is it just like limelight
yes,
chasing?
I
Is that
think
all
so.
it is?
I think that's all she really knows, especially at this point in her life.
Well, she
And
doesn't
I think-
have anything else.
Yeah, and you see that
she
in the
doesn't
end
have
too.
anybody that loves her.
And in the final few
The
like
dude
minutes
tried to get her a
of this,
drink.
yeah, right. And I loved him. What was his name? Fuck,
I know. Oh,
Fred.
Frank. Was it Frank?
Fred.
Fred.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
At
close.
first, I was a little like, but no, I felt him as like a potential like connection to the reality, like to try to as something to keep her grounded in the reality, so she doesn't sit in front of QVC all day and make shit
Right.
from this fucking French cookbook that she was gifted in Christmas
Oh my
wrapping
God,
paper.
I know.
Yeah.
Jesus. Fucking afterthought.
It was so amazing, and it didn't hit me that shit was Christmas wrapping paper until I tweeted about it that night, and I was like, that shit is a motherfucking
That was
reindeer.
good.
But I think you see that this was all her drive really ever was, because that's what she came up as. That's what she knows. That's what she's always wanted. And in the last few minutes of this film, you see as her head separates from Monstro Elizasu as that being kind of explodes on the screen. And you see Demi Moore's head crawl back to like the star where she was, because
It's
that's
just her
all she
face,
wanted,
which was
all she
weird.
needed. And that was like her like final cathartic, like, yes, like I
think
have
that is
this.
a perfect ending. Yes,
It's perfect.
It's a perfect ending. I mean, like, there are structural problems I have with the film, and again, to me, it's like a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
But it's also like it's a 2 hour and 20 long minute movie, and it flies by.
yeah.
But
definitely.
there's just, I guess the toughest part I have is you're in a world and you set the rules. Like, we ignored the giant plot holes in the beginning because we set the rules. Like, here's the rules.
Yeah.
This is what's happening in this reality. Like, I'm not going to go, you don't go into the whole, well, the suturing this and
yeah.
I just accept it.
Sure, I agree.
Somebody just burst out the back. It's not going to be like, oh,
Yeah, we're not in reality.
She wouldn't
guys.
know
Like-
how to sew. This
Yeah.
is fake.
But where I lost the point that they lost me is they do an excessive scene where Demi Moore has that knee, that gnarled.
I was thinking
knee,
about that.
and like
Oh.
she can't move, and it takes like she has to warm it up, and then finally it's able to move.
After a big
And
crunch.
that's where I struggle with the super kick and the old lady that's suddenly going Mach 2 down a hallway,
Yeah.
chasing down the.
Yeah, that was a little weird. I was like, what?
And it was like, you gave us the rules and we accepted
Right.
your crazy rules.
Now play
now
within
we're
the
breaking
rules
the
that you've given
rules.
us.
They
And
kind of
that's
just
where-
could have cut that part out. Yeah.
Or
I just saw
like,
it as a drive toward a drug that you need and your addiction
True.
problem.
to me, it was like, I think there's other ways to kill her without I understood what they were going for. There is a
Yeah.
very The Shining, and she does reference all these other movies. And I think
And there's nothing subtle about this film.
No.
in
No.
any way. It's not
No,
subtle
this
at
is
all.
this is
No.
a pink sledgehammer that
And that's
hits
fine.
you right.
and
in
with
the
even
teeth.
that, the message stands. I always said the monster part was a little it was a lot excessive. Like,
It was
okay,
extremely
the
excessive.
vomiting up the titty, fine, so be it. I don't have
The
a problem with
blood.
that.
I was
Well, the-
scream laughing.
The blood spray, I was kind of like, wait, is that your retribution? These people get sprayed with blood? That's not.
So I think Chad and I
Blood
had a
is on all their
discussion of
hands.
so
Yeah.
that's what I
Mm,
wanted.
true.
I wanted that line of executives to all put up their hands and her
Oh,
to spray
yeah.
blood on their hands and then
Yeah.
lower their hands, and their faces are just unchanged, but there's blood on her hands. I was looking for that kind of level of, instead of just, oh, there's an old lady
Blood
spray her.
everywhere.
Like, it turned into a Gallagher concert.
Yeah.
Like,
But see,
yeah.
It worked for
And
me
Carrie.
because
Yes.
I thought,
Carrie.
very Carrie for sure.
Yes.
But it worked for me because also all of these people in the audience who are just regular people, they are complicit in this as well. Because
100%.
they are forming these decisions by not watching Elizabeth Sparkle anymore, by taking up to sue the way that they have and shit. And they kind of played a huge part in Elizabeth's downfall in this way. And like many actresses, women in Hollywood, all that kind of shit, they are responsible for this as well. So they deserved this like full just fucking geyser of blood all over them. Like, bitch, this is your fault. Like, you all did this to me. And at least that's how I saw it. And man, I loved it, man. It worked for me. I get that.
I love
I get-
everything except for the monster part.
I get what Coach and like what you're saying
Listen.
too. Like, I definitely get that. But man, it just, yeah.
Well,
And
again,
that's gonna be the
you know,
dividing line.
I'm taking it from a 10 to an 8, and like,
Oh yeah,
Again,
no,
I
That's still a
think-
great score.
yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that Demi Moore, there's roles that I always say are very brave. I always thought that in Devil Wears Prada, there's a scene where Meryl Streep is just without any makeup and
Sure.
and I thought that's a very brave portrayal for an Asian
Sure.
actress. Rooney Mara in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, like,
Mm.
put herself in a lot of very vulnerable positions and scenes, and like, I always give, like, this was a very
props.
brave thing for Demi Moore to do, to break a stereotype that is in the industry.
Sure.
And it was also brave. I mean, Margaret Qualley just went all in on it too.
Sure.
I mean, you have two artists there who are basically giving every little bit that they have.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And very well. Now,
Yeah.
here's the one thing. Maybe it's just because I remember Demi Moore from, St. Elmo's Fire, that stupid movie, and all this stuff. For me, I grew up with her.
Sure.
I think she is absolutely beautiful.
She's
And
stunning.
I did
Fuck.
love the fact that you still have a stunning, beautiful actress that is cast aside just because they're not new and shiny.
Sure. And this brings me
Yes,
to a
sir.
question that I actually had for Carly, because I know that you are incredibly involved in social media like I am. We're on Twitter pretty heavily. And you see what the versions that people are willing to present of themselves. And do you think this was actually brave of Demi Moore to do this role because of how stunning she is for 61 years old? Or was this just sort of like fluff in a way? But I'm just curious about that, because you do get a lot of close-ups of lines and crow's feet and aging and all that kind of shit that are not flattering for a woman, especially an actress. So is that brave to you, or is this just kind of like,
Well, I mean, I think any woman that is willing to get completely naked in front of a camera is incredibly brave, because I would never
Facts.
do that.
Very
But
true.
I mean, and I thought her body looked fantastic. I loved seeing all of the history written on her body.
yes.
I mean, it looked like maybe she had had a C-section possibly, or at least some kind of surgery. I mean, it's just, that is what a woman's body looks like.
Yeah,
She looked like she
so.
lived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for 61, the hoe looks amazing.
Oh, my
let's
God.
be real.
Yeah, she looks way better than I do, and I'm 40. So, I mean,
Well, what's
yeah.
funny too is there's in the shower scene in this bathroom that plays an integral role in this movie. And a bathroom is, of course, a sacred space where untold things happen. I think especially more so for women than men.
Oh, yeah.
There's this overhead shot of Demi Moore first, like in the shower, and you're seeing like her breasts and she's naked and all that kind of shit. And you get this same exact look later on at Margaret Qualley in this exact position. And like, they're pretty much indistinguishable, honestly.
They are.
Like you don't really know. You wouldn't know unless you were
They
being
both look
told by the
great.
movie who was there. And it's kind of like goes back to what this is all about. Like, you are harping on things that just really are so unimportant here, even though you're being told that this is everything. This is what your whole entire life should be. This is everything you should chase, and all of that kind of shit. And yeah, I just thought it was fascinating that truly, like, those scenes were kind of one and the same, basically.
What did
The
you guys
one
think
scene-
about? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, the one scene I think doesn't get talked about enough is so Demi Moore is feeling down. So she has the phone number of the guy who worships who she used to be, and who she obviously sees herself as above.
Sure.
And they're going to go for this date, and she basically, it seems like she's doing it just to feel better about herself. So she.
Well, I think she's like grasping for some sort of like
right.
Yeah,
hand
she
in
needs some kind of
reality.
connection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Validation. I'm still
Right.
pretty.
Yes, and that guy sees her as she wishes that she was seen by the world, and then the applying and reapplying and taking, and then frustration, like that
Covering
to
up.
me, that's the Oscar scene. That's the Oscar reel.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah.
Is
Because nothing's ever said. That's what's
Correct.
brilliant.
No.
It's just
Yeah,
all
she-
through
she
facial
looked-
expression.
She looked absolutely stunning, like going out on the date, and then she covered up her neck, and then she covered up more, and then
Yep.
she looked uncomfortable being covered because she's a beautiful woman and she's used to not being covered.
Sure.
But that's where the insecurity comes from, because you actually see your younger self
Sure.
as it's lying on the bathroom floor.
Well, and you have this
And in the billboard.
fucking full of Sue, pumping up with Sue, just staring at you constantly,
Yeah.
looking perfect
Can
all the
we
time.
talk about the motive of the guy that introduced her to the substance?
I was just
Oh.
about to ask about
my
him.
goodness.
Everybody, him looking very statuesque and perfect,
Mhm.
Perfect.
Ken doll like.
And then the diner scene.
And then the diner scene, you see his older self. Now,
Well, you know, he's one of the, because when she first goes there too, it's only 207 and 503, those two numbers. So it's him and her.
Oh, is that it? There's only two numbers there?
At
oh,
first,
wow, I
for
didn't
sure.
realize
And
that.
I'm not
okay,
sure.
at first.
I think it grows a little bit after, but
Yeah, only a little bit.
Okay.
where, this is a stupid question, where did this substance come from? Who made it? Who's pimping it? Who's producing it? And who is pushing it?
To me,
That
I don't
dude
think it
on the
matters
phone.
too much. Yeah,
that guy on the phone. Okay.
To me, I don't think it matters.
Where'd he get it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know the
It's the Rand Corporation, the Dharma Initiative.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Every shady
black
corporation
market.
you've ever known has gotten together to do this. But what is the end game? Like it there doesn't really specify a cost behind it,
right.
other than
Which I think is good.
your soul. You know,
Sure.
this costs $1 jillion. You know, like
The
whatever
cost
it
is like your complete and total being, in my opinion.
Yeah, but
No
I mean,
matter what
what is the end game for it? So we have a new shiny people out there.
I mean, I think, yeah, honestly, yeah, this is a thing to tap into the market of people who have
Want to pay
disposable.
for it? Well,
yeah,
I guess
have
did
disposable
they
income.
pay for it though? I
I'm
mean,
sure
yeah,
that-
I mean, they
I'm
just
sure.
never go over that.
Didn't get
but-
into that, which I
Yeah.
appreciate that they didn't get into that because
No, I like that. I like that they left that
Yeah.
ambiguous for sure. Because I mean, ultimately, like as this movie shows you,
We know
you're
what the
paying
cost
for it.
is.
Yeah, you know what the real cost of this is. So money for the people who are doing this is clearly not really an object. And I think that was so smart to do that because again, it's just paralleled with so many things we're seeing today, like Ozempic and shit like that, that people are just taking willy-nilly. It's a new drug to the market. God knows what the implications of this shit are like down the road. I mean, you're not going to probably birth someone out of your back and like
vomit up a breast.
yeah, and vomit up a breast and shit. But like, I mean, it's still very unclear at this point. But people are willing to do kind of whatever it takes to maintain this beauty and this relevance.
Standard.
Yeah,
Mhm.
The standard that, I mean, it's all over everywhere. I mean, nobody posts a bad picture of themselves.
I have,
Oh, no.
but I
Oh,
don't
I
even
don't.
want to.
I don't take good pictures, so I mean that's it. But I mean, you know, the
Some
people,
hosts get deleted.
people agonize over getting a better picture. They might not be
Yeah, oh,
perfect,
yeah.
but okay. Like this one looks awful. Like my gut's too far out, so let me get my shoulders. Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah. So I mean, it's everybody's supposedly putting their best foot forward, but it's all fake.
Of course. And if you're living your life online the way that a lot of us do, in a way,
Go outside and play.
you're of course like kind of calculated in what you are presenting to the world. I would like to think that even though, yeah, of course, sometimes photos are calculated because I'm not the most photographic or like photogenic person. So yeah, sometimes it takes a few to find a photo of myself that I'm happy with and shit. I'm still very much myself, as messy as that shit is sometimes online. And I kind of pride myself on that. Like I overshare. I give people too much information, more than they ask for
We
sure.
love it. We love it.
And that's how I roll and shit. But yeah, I mean, even for people like us who are not Hollywood celebrities and shit, like look how social media affects us. And not that this film's about social media, but look how just public perception affects us.
That is one thing that I really did appreciate, that there was no presence of social media in this.
This is a very like, it's a time period agnostic movie in a way. I mean, she has a flat screen TV, there are smartphones, but this is something that 20 years from now is going to play extremely well. It's timeless.
It's very timeless.
For sure. It's
Especially
clearly
with Dennis
like,
Quaid suits.
Yeah, right. It's clearly post like smartphone, but like his suits are amazing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're good suits. And bad teeth. Oh god, he was awful.
But yeah, this
You
movie
know-
A lot
for
of
me,
ugly, a lot of beauty, and a lot of ugly on the screen.
this movie for
You
me
know, and
clearly. No, go ahead, baby.
Oh, I was just going to say that, like, my mom, like I said, she called me. She was talking about the movie. I really wanted to share her thoughts on it.
Oh yes,
Is that obviously she really liked it a lot. Her whole takeaway is that Demi Moore's character, she didn't have any love and she didn't have a job. Those
Yep.
are the two most important things for somebody to have in their life. And love can mean, the love of friends, family, children, a husband, whatever. She didn't have anybody. Nobody called and checked up on her at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, you
So-
never really know her backstory and why she is so solitary.
Well, no, I think the Margaret
I think I
Qualley
know
character 100% answers that. Where originally it's, oh, we respect you. You go away one day or 1 week a month or 1 week every other week to take care of your family. And that's great and all that. And then once you get offered more, they take more.
They take more.
And once they
Yeah.
offer you more, they take more. So she's obviously a woman that has taken every advantage that she has been given a chance
Yes.
to, and they have
Yeah.
taken everything from her.
I'm totally with Coach
Yeah.
on this one. I think this
I
is
agree.
the kind of thing where she's been so driven to be successful and be in
Yep.
the public eye that she's literally let everything else fall by the wayside just to even get to the point where she's just making like a kind of like Jane Fonda-esque like fitness show on like public access TV or whatever the fuck.
Right.
And like
Yep.
that keeps her in the public eye enough to where she's still willing to just let
Feel validated enough.
everything, yeah, and let everything else go by the
Yeah.
wayside. That's why she doesn't have friends or a social life. I mean, you see her at a bar, like she's famous.
And she's
an
very
Oscar-winning
professional.
actress,
Yeah.
and she's sitting in a bar drinking like martinis by herself and shit
Yeah.
because she has willed herself or like just given herself over to like, this is the life that I live and lead because this is all I want is this fame, this stardom, this notoriety. And while that I think could seem superficial in a lot of ways for a lot of movies, I think for here, I think this actually makes her very sympathetic in a lot of ways because it's clear she's been in this system since she was much, much, much younger.
Well,
And
there's
But
kind
she
of
is
all she knows.
superficial.
She
But that's
definitely is.
okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's not
It's all
saying
she
anything
knows.
bad, but exactly. She's just superficial, and that's not saying it's necessarily a bad thing because everybody that she's interacted with in the movie, she seems very pleasant. She's not a nasty person.
Right.
But my mom, she really fucking loved the ending. She said she said basically it couldn't have ended any other way. She expected it to be completely ridiculous and absurd, and she loved it for that. And I just was so surprised that she liked it so much, but I'm really glad that
you
she
did.
watched it.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah. Hell yeah, me too, man. That's the kind of shit I'd love to hear because
Okay. What part made you laugh and laugh hard? Because there were moments in this that made me
Oh,
chuckle, not of
Me
like
too.
irony or uncomfort, but
I think there were parts they were clearly going for comedic. And I think like from Monstro Lizasu on, there I think
Oh yeah, well that whole
played
title
for
card of a
comedy.
monster.
Yeah.
Monster
Monstro
Lizasu.
Alyssa Sue. I was like, oh
Well, I
my
mean, you
God.
see her sit there and like curl her hair and like try to speak and all that kind of shit. It
The
sounds so fucked
earring,
up.
the
Yeah, the
earring, really,
earrings.
where she once she got it, there was almost that smile.
But she's feeling herself.
And
She's like,
I know
yeah,
she is. She finally accepts herself.
yeah. And it made me laugh. And the blood scene, I chuckled with glee through that motherfucker. Like it was my job. Both times I saw it originally and today, and both times I've watched this movie 5 times, guys. So I chuckled with glee during it because it's so over the top, it's so insane, it's so absurd, and it's so perfect and exactly what this movie needed, in my opinion.
When she came out of the apartment, Elizabeth, when she had wrapped herself up, she was like at old lady, perfect, like covering herself up, and her neighbor knocks on the door and she screeches, "Fuck off!"
Yeah.
And that guy was, oh god, I don't know, it struck me so funny. I could
Oh
not
my
stop
God.
laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. The abject terror in the neighbor's face. Great. Yeah, small cast, small dialogue, but big message.
Oh yeah.
The chicken wing made me.
Yes. Oh my God.
thing was just
Oh,
like
Ugh.
it made me cringe but laugh at the same time of like, what are we doing here? Like, all right, like again, I'm on the ride. We've already gone like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are on free
yeah,
fall
we're
at
at
this
11
point.
right now.
So like we're actually on the roller coaster right now. So like, where are we going to actually go?
When
Yeah.
when the organs fell out of the back of her dress.
Oh
I always thought-
God! I was like, ah.
I thought that it was
Flip
just so
part.
smart though, like those switch moments where you're getting
Oh,
this
yeah.
like sort of like very visceral like glimpse into like sort of a nightmarish reality
Very
of the
nightmarish.
other
Your
person.
subconscious.
And yeah, I thought that was all very, very smart. But yeah, for me, guys, I said this last week about Terrifier 3. This is a buy with every like the most deluxe version that you could ever possibly get your hands on of every documentary, every commentary, every behind the scenes, everything. I think Coralie Farjah is a filmmaker to be reckoned with for sure. And whatever she has up her sleeve to do next, I hope it doesn't take as long between like how it took between Revenge and The Substance, because this woman is important filmmaking in my opinion. And
That would be the interesting thing is, does she create
What's next?
something new or take on something else? Like, I always like watching these creative people, even like the guy who did Snack Shack,
Yeah.
from Dinner in America
yeah,
Yep.
to Snack Shack. Like, that could be easily be someone that would be gobbled up to be like, okay, you're going to do the next Fast and Furious. Like,
Star Wars has their name on it.
right. Can you stay true to your
God, I don't want her to do
storytelling?
that. Fuck.
I don't know, man. Jason Momoa throwing up a titty would be kind of fun.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
right.
Wait,
I think
so have you guys seen her short film Reality Plus?
No, it's on
It's
YouTube
on
though, and I
Netflix.
need
or
to
YouTube.
have it.
YouTube, yes.
Yeah.
It's really, really short, but it's really good. I liked it.
I think it's less than 25 minutes, and I think it very much
Yeah.
informs, from what I understand, like kind of what we
Alright.
got with The Substance.
I will
a little
check that
bit.
out.
Yeah, I think this will be an interesting DVD once the physical media comes out of like, oh man, if they could only do a commentary, if they do a behind the scenes, like this would be that kind of prime stuff that old physical media would usually give you.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Especially
with the
Yeah.
oh sorry.
No, I agree. Like, it's the nature of the film would lead to that type of thing.
Yeah. So I'm curious for you boys, like, would this be a buy for you, or is this just like a
It's
For
a
me,
buy to borrow.
It's a buy.
okay, yeah, good.
Like
Yeah,
like
it-
what we established earlier. It's the, hey, I bought this. I don't know how many times I'm going to watch it, but you should see it.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I get that.
it's
A buy
it's
to borrow it out.
It's a buy. It's a buy and a share. Yeah.
Okay.
It
get it.
like I said, it showed me so much stuff that I have not seen in forever.
Yeah.
I just bang performances, really great effects. It went from intense to sad to silly.
Okay.
And I really could have done, I would have been very happy if it ended sad
Mhm.
without the silly.
Gotcha. And
Yeah.
and that is a vibe I'm getting from some other people too. So it does make sense for sure, even though I'm an evangelist for The Substance, clearly.
Hey, you like what you like.
Yeah, I love it, man. I
Don't
love
defend
it,
anything.
love it.
Christ.
And
I will
okay.
say
Yeah.
one other funny thing about it though is that my husband was like, man, Margot Qualley has like the perfect body. And then come to find out, which she does have a great body, but
Yes,
come to find out
but-
she's wearing prosthetic breasts.
I did not
Those
know
aren't
that.
even her
You didn't know that?
boobs. Those aren't
No.
even her
Really?
boobs. Yeah, those are not her boobs.
No.
No.
Okay.
So
No,
I had to
that-
tell my husband, he was very disappointed.
Because see, I love the like slight imperfection there, where one is a little bit larger than the other and shit. Like I love
They
that,
did a good
even
job
though
with
she's
it, though.
perfect. Like this is
Yeah.
still like, I mean, we're still kind of in reality on what women look like, and yeah, boobs aren't exactly symmetrical. They're cousins, not sisters. Like,
That's true.
but yeah, no,
she
I
had
had
talked
no
about
idea.
how this was an awkward year for her family to see her in film. I think she was in like the Secretary or something, which was she's been in a lot of she's been naked a lot this year.
Gratuitous.
Risque.
Yeah.
She was in that
Right.
what the heck movie?
Dollar
You told me
takeaway,
about
whatever,
that.
runaway
the guy-
dolls, or
The dominatrix movie.
Drive-away dolls. Yeah.
Driveway Dolls, which
There you go.
was very there was a lot of prosthetics in that one. Basically the whole point of the thing is about prosthetics.
Yeah.
But she was in the guy who did Poor Things. The one that nobody saw.
Yeah, Yorgos Lanthimos.
The lazy.
She's the second one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
But yeah, she talked about it. She's like, yeah, I couldn't tell my family to see any of my films.
She's a talent.
Oh, like, dude! As soon as I saw her
she
in,
is, right?
Mary Steenburgen.
Close. Andy McDowell.
Andy McDowell. That's it.
Yep.
I get that. Andy McDowell, Mary Steenburgen, and who's the other one? She was in The Abyss.
Oh shit! Oh god.
Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio.
Yes, I think that's it. Yes. All three of them, I blend them. No, wait.
No, somebody else. It's another name. It's not Mary Elizabeth Masterson. It's not her. Now I gotta look that up.
Yeah, me too. Who's got the fastest fingers?
Okay, not me.
Oh shit! It is.
No,
hold on.
Mary Elizabeth.
It's Mary Elizabeth. There you go. I can't say that last name.
Yeah.
Mastrantonio.
I'm such a weirdo.
I thought you were going to say a different name. So you probably were right.
Ever since was it the Hollywood movie, the Tarantino Hollywood movie? I'm like Margaret Qualley has an it factor.
Oh yeah,
definitely agreed.
Once Upon a Time in
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood, yeah.
She was the foot girl.
The foot girl.
Funny story. I had no idea what that movie was about. I watched it and I was really upset because I kept waiting for the end, and I was like, I'm going to hate this fucking movie. And then the end happened. I was like, oh my God, this movie is awesome. I had no idea it was a reimagining. So I was like, that was such a pleasant surprise. I was like, holy shit, I fucking love the end of this movie. It was so satisfying. It's like, I really don't want to watch a pregnant woman get killed.
No.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
But
I've heard it spoiled a million times.
Okay.
I've tried to watch it several times.
It's really good. It's really funny. I know it's very long. It's very long.
Trail off. Like, why are you still driving? Fuck off.
It's really good for a movie that, if you love movies and movie making and kind of reading about it, that's what I loved about it. Like the whole Leonardo DiCaprio's character and acting and doing all that stuff.
I like that, but I mean,
but yeah, it was very long.
Got to the like, come on, I'm like, it's a movie. Can we move?
Right.
You can be a little more liberal with that edit button. I'm just saying.
But guys, definitely go see The Substance. Support
Absolutely.
This kind of shit. You just don't get to go to an AMC's theater and see shit like this, or like Terrifier 3 that I talked about last week. That's this subversive, like at an AMC of all fucking places, or a Regal or whatever the fuck. And this is just the kind of thing that I truly feel like 20 years from now, people are going to look back on this moment and be like, I would have given anything to get to experience this in a movie theater upon release, before everything's inevitably spoiled in every way for you by images or whatever it is. And this feels that important to me. And I love it, guys. I love it just with my whole entire fucking heart. And I maybe not everyone on the panel loves it with their whole heart like I do, but I absolutely love it with my whole heart. And we were going to get into some Halloween recommends tonight, but we have talked so fucking much about this movie.
It is absolutely wonderful.
No, that's exactly what this is. This is freeform shit. Yeah, this is freeform. We do it as it rolls, and this is still going to go down as our Halloween episode because The Substance is, in my opinion, a Halloween movie worth your time in every way. And I don't know that there's been an official release for this yet for home viewing, but I think the 29th is what it's looking like as far as like a wide distribution for like watching at home. So we will see on that for sure. But Carly, oh my God, This has been amazing.
Really
You
has.
have been such a delight to have on here tonight,
great.
and we're so happy to
Welcome
have
back
gotten this.
anytime.
As
Oh,
Coach
good.
put it, as Coach put it earlier, he was like, "This is some testosterone for like our sewing circle." that we have." And while that sounds fucked up, like yeah, kind of, yeah, I feel it.
Everybody follow Carly on
Yeah.
social media,
And I will link.
She's
I'll link any.
fantastic.
Yeah, I'll link any social media that she would like me to link, of course, in the audio and the YouTube description of this. And we appreciate you coming back, guys, and checking this out and listen to us ramble about fucking movies and just sit here and talk like fucking friends, because that's what we are, and that's all we want to do here. And we appreciate you checking it out, guys.
Have yourselves a good night.
Yes. Good night.
Good night.
We never know how to end these things.
No,
So awkward. So awkward. Oh, it's horrible.